Sports 56 and 87.7 FM welcomes you to the Peter Edmiston with CJ Hurts. The first hour of the experience is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Welcome to the experience on a beautiful Monday morning, making your way to work. It's already 70 degrees outside. Today should be quite lovely. Enjoy your day. We'll help you do that as we get started here. I am Peter. He is CJ. This is your experience here on this Monday. Max Vincent on the other side of the glass. And we have so much to get to from an extremely busy weekend. In sports, away from sports, everything else. It was that kind of a weekend. We will talk about all of that and more coming up over the next 3 hours. So thank you for making us a part of your morning, as so many of you have done. We will, as we do our thing, and we'll talk, and we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. Don't worry about it. We got, a lot of NBA, a lot of NFL draft, a lot of other stuff. We'll talk. We'll get into it. Believe me. But as always, you guys are a big part of this experience, so we need you to be part of the show. We love hearing from you, however you want to do it. You can text us on the First Bank text lines at 67129. That's 67129 on the First Bank text lines. You can call as well on the First Bank phone lines, 360-8255, 360-8255. That would be great. We'd love to hear from you there. You can hit us up on Twitter. I am at Peter Edmiston. He is at Conradicalness. You got at Max Vincent 95 or at Maximum Vincent. If you want, either one will work.
Max, come on. I'm tired of begging you every show.
Either one will work just fine for Max as he transitions from one account to the other, no doubt. It may take him a while to transition, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually.
Like Max, is Superman or Superman year he landed on Earth?
Yeah, Superman 1941 or
42.
Yeah.
Like, is that? No, come on, man.
Mm-mm. No, CJ's got a great point. Great point. So, all of that part of the show. Now, before we get started, though, okay, so we have to set the groundwork here. We haven't really discussed this, but gentlemen, we have to kind of we have to talk about this.
Okay.
So over the weekend, we had two monumental pop culture things go down. You had the Avengers Endgame release, which CJ saw. Max, did you see? I haven't seen it either.
Max is going this week though to check it out
on Tuesday.
Okay,
on Tuesday.
So and then you had, of course, the Game of Thrones, the Battle of Winterfell episode.
As those on Facebook and see you rocking the shirt.
I'm rocking. I got my map. My.
He's got the opening scene shirt on.
Yeah, I got the Westeros map. See, this is Winterfell right here. This is where the walls. This is sort of outdated. This was from like season 1 or season 2. So the wall's now just kind of gone because kind of blasted that through. But you got right in this region here is where all the action was happening. So we have that particular battle that is in the books. We got a winner, we got a loser. So here's the question though. What level of spoilers should we be willing to discuss here? Because you have people that are out there. I guess we should give like people the first segment to kind of weigh in on this because it may come up over the course of the show. This, that, and the other. Now, I've not seen Endgame. I will eventually see it, but I can't say that I have absolute plans to see it at this moment. It's
how many of the other movies have you seen?
We saw Infinity. Obviously, Infinity War saw probably I'd say half of the MCU. I mean, probably somewhere 9-10 over the course of the. I haven't watched every single one.
Cool,
but enough to have a pretty decent idea what's going on. So I will watch it. I don't know. I don't have like concrete plans. Like Max got his tickets. Like I don't have my tickets yet.
All right.
And of course I saw Game of Thrones. You saw Game of Thrones. You're not really into Game of Thrones.
I'm not. My phone was blowing up with Game of Thrones text messages though.
Yeah. People were going crazy. So my question to you, and we can throw this out at 67129 before we get started, or you can call Max and just let him know. Do you want us to just go crazy with these things, or do you want us to shut up? Are you ready to be spoiled?
I was asked personally by the Russo brothers and members of the Avengers to not spoil Endgame.
Correct.
# not spoil Endgame. So I'm not here to.
Well, they've already made $1.2 billion, so they can
they got all the billions.
They could take a hike. I don't really care what they think at this point. It doesn't matter to me. You guys are doing okay.
$1.2 billion.
I'm talking about the people. I don't care about those people.
For them though. This is for the people who have yet to see.
Exactly.
It. I'm not going to spoil it for them. Well, I can discuss that movie without spoiling anything for you.
You sure?
1,000% sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm asking the people. What level of spoiler are you comfortable with? Just think it out. Do you want no spoiler whatsoever? Do you just say, look, let's put it out there because these things come up from time to time, and I don't. And then by the same token. What's a normal amount of time that we should allow for these things to settle before spoilers are acceptable? Mm-hmm. What's the normal time to allow for a show like Game of Thrones last night, which was it was like 82 minutes. Like it was basically like a feature.
It was a movie.
It was. And the production value was basically a movie. I mean, essentially the entire episode was a battle. And it was it's huge production value. Huge. I would venture to say unprecedented level of production value for a TV show. There's never been one.
It
took them 55 days of shooting.
It has better production than most movies.
Yeah.
I would say. That one episode.
55
days of shooting, yeah.
Man.
So
wow.
Yeah. So that one episode. Not the show, not the whole show. That one episode.
No wonder it took them a year and a half to get the season out.
So yeah, big doings. But what's the acceptable length of time? So just kind of mull these things over. Let me know. 67129. Tell Max because I got to know if we're going to be able to. When can we really get down on this?
Mm-hmm.
When can we talk about the hero last night? When can we talk about the villain, the way it went down? When can we talk about that sort of thing?
Yes.
Just in general, I would say your review of Avengers Endgame.
You want it right now?
Just a quick little.
It is.
We're just kind of starting the show. Just a little taster.
A powerful movie about regret, loss, and failure.
Okay.
Real good.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All the thumbs go up.
All the thumbs are
All the thumbs go up, and they stay there.
And they stay there.
And they don't go down. They just go up.
All right.
None of that down mess.
Review of Game of Thrones. What's your review, Max? Non-spoiler. Yeah, just tell me just your general thought of it.
Well, it had everything. You had the horror aspect of it.
Don't be careful.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just giving you all the emotions. The horror, the action, sadness, with all that included.
Action and emotion.
It's got everything in it. Makes you feel all certain ways. You're that adrenaline kind of gives you running at the end of the episode. So you're like already rating for next week. I'm going to give it like a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
A 9.
So thumbs up from CJ, 9 out of 10 for Max and our mismatched review system that we've got.
Texas have already texted in.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Another Texas says, give them a week. But this person versus that person was golden.
Yeah.
Texter. Yeah. You can't say give them a week and then give the character's name.
The other reason I bring this up is because I transition. I didn't like Game of Thrones as much. I was left unsatisfied basically. But anyway, we can get into that in a week or however long.
Okay.
I bring this up also because I feel like in the realm of sports now, especially after this weekend and yesterday in particular, we are in the realm of storyline and drama and meta drama and grievances and people getting mad about this, that, and the other rather than the actual sports. We have transcended, and you know me. I blame replay for all this. From the very beginning, we have opened Pandora's box, and now this is what you deal with when you open up Pandora's box. And I bring this up because yesterday we had a really riveting Rockets-Warriors game 1 of what should be a pretty epic series. This is, in many people's minds, the Western Conference Finals. The only team that can beat the Warriors. I think most people think, no matter what happens to Nuggets-Blazers, that team would not be able to beat the Warriors. The only team that could, the only team that has gotten them to the brink, should have beaten them last year, was the Rockets. And the Rockets did not win game one.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
We were supposed to wait a week for that one, Peter.
Boy, if we had to wait a week for all of our sports spoilers, like,
Series might be
sorry.
over in a week.
Sorry, I got to wait a week to tell you who won the game last night. So the Warriors won, but the story afterwards was not about, how the Warriors played defense and really stifled what the Rockets were trying to do. It wasn't about, the foul trouble that we saw as a strategic element of the game and how it messed with substitution patterns. It was just strictly about the fouls. Were they fouls? Weren't they fouls? Houston feels like they were tremendously aggrieved. They were hard done by. They were being ripped, and they were the ones that are being, messed around by the officials on a regular basis, to the point where Chris Paul gets kicked out of the game at the end because he thinks there's a foul call and all this. And there may be some truth to that. But this thing is like, we're not even now dealing with the game.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot wait to get out of the game so that we can get into it's like when you see the debate. You remember like we go to these presidential debates that are coming up soon. At the end of the thing, they go into the spin room.
Yep.
And each candidate has their spin people that have their way of looking at it. And that's what we go to now. We're not even like going to the game. It's just we go to our respective corners and spin what we saw. And never mind what Kevin Durant did on the court or that. No. We're going straight to the spin room.
You act like this is a new thing. This has nothing to do with replay. This is why sports is interesting. It's not because if it was just about wins and losses, we'd get real bored with sports real quick, because in all the sports over here, for most of the sports over here, there's a winner, there's a loser. Every single time. It is not about winning and losing. It is about what happens in that, quote, spin room. It is about these storylines off the field and in game. That is what it's about. In the games, post games, off the court, off the field. It's the storyline. It's the anticipation. It's the buildup for the games. And then, once the games happen, it is, okay, why did the games happen? Why is this happening this way? And unfortunately, in that particular series, that is the storyline coming from game one. In that one, the storyline is, hey, do shooters not have a place to land? Have we just decided to get rid of that entirely? That is the storyline. That is intriguing. And then how does everybody adjust? How do the Houston Rockets adjust to the Golden State Warriors playing defense that way? How will Golden State adjust to Houston's adjustment to them? And how will the referees in the NBA handle this? Because the way it's been called all year is, if you get up into somebody like that, that's a foul. Will the league then change? And if the league changes, says, hey, refs, call it the way it's supposed to be called, call it the way the rules say we have to call it, what does Golden State do from there? That is the interesting part. Not necessarily the winning and losing, but how we get to the winners and losers. And it's been that way in sports.
See, now this is where I will respectfully disagree with you.
Oh, I can't wait to disrespectfully disagree. I can't wait.
On a number of levels, okay? First of all, I don't think it was ever truly like this, particularly with the platforms that we have seen over the course of the last few years that have emerged now. We didn't have, back in Jordan's era, we didn't have the social media element to. I mean, there was some controversy about whether he pushed off on Brian Russell, that the Jazz play that was his last shot. In my mind, his last shot. I know that the whole Wizards thing never happened, as far as I'm concerned. But there was some controversy, but it didn't get to this. It wasn't even to this point. Like, people kind of were upset or whatever, but then that was it. Like, no one. It didn't overshadow the hugeness of that moment. It didn't overshadow the second three-peat. It didn't overshadow his career. It was just a thing, like, oh yeah, he may have pushed off. Okay, like that was it. This is like the focal point of this game. I mean, it's a 104-100 Warriors win, but it's really like all the headlines, all the discussion. There's so many more outlets now. And the reason I bring up replay is not because of specifically replay like in this game, but because of the environment that replay has fostered, the continual second guessing. This is a long time in the making, CJ. Now, let me give you the elements of how we are where we are, especially with this series.
Okay.
So when the NBA started doing its last 2-minute reports back 6-7 years ago, I guess it was, So the last 2 minutes of the game, the NBA, for every game that's within 5 points at the 2-minute mark, they issue the report whether they're right or wrong on each call. And, pretty transparent, like they were wrong on these calls. This was a wrong no call. This was a wrong call. This was a right no call, etc. They go through and they make all those judgment calls. But the NBA has all of that information for every call. They only release it for the 2-minute calls of those games, but they have it for every game, for every call, because there are officiating observers at every game who file their report. They go back and watch video of every single play, et cetera, et cetera. All that is there. It is only available to the teams themselves upon request and only for their team, not for every game of every team in the league, but every team has access to that data. And the Rockets have gotten all of that data for all of their games, and in particular, their games against the Golden State Warriors, and have gone back and analyzed it. This is from Sam Amick of The Athletic, who went through, and this is a really good angle, I thought. And so they went through and found that they were cost over the last playoff series 93 points by the NBA. And they felt like they were in this particular game, they were cost 27 points on fouls that should have been called, that by their admission were fouls. Houston said that the officials at halftime said they missed 4 3-point shot fouls. That's 12 points, potentially. And the Rockets are a good free throw shooting team, so let's just say that's 10. Well, right there, 110-104. I'm sure they missed a few for the Warriors, but they don't. It doesn't seem to be as many as they missed for the Rockets. And then the Rockets say that they missed 4 more after. So now you're talking about that's 24 points and a couple more here and there. I think they got to like 27 for the game, something like that. This would never have happened if this environment of where we start to scrutinize every little thing came about. And here's the other thing, CJ. So now once the NBA, once that material became public, and once teams started to get their hands on it, now the Rockets strategize, because they are a analytics-driven team. They strategize based on the way it's called. So now they're trying to game that system with stuff that is. James Harden takes a shot, but he kind of kicks his legs out a little further. Not like Reggie Miller, but if you notice, Harden kind of drifts a little further out. Okay, like, is that his natural form? Maybe. But every time he takes a shot, he falls down. Mm-hmm. If his legs drift out and he can't land, is that a foul? They're in the landing area. You're supposed to let the shooters land. We saw that in the national championship game, right?
Yeah.
Is that a foul? Well, what if his landing area drifts forward like a foot? Well, how do you contest the shot at that point? Now, how do we legally contest the shot? So both sides can be correct on this, but yet wrong in the crux of what this game is supposed to be all about. And I don't really know what a good solution is, because we've gotten to this point because we've opened the door via replay and scrutiny of officials, which then led to the 2-minute reports, which then led to now the Rockets have access to what the NBA has admitted are wrong calls on them. And they're saying, look, guys, it's not a conspiracy if you guys have said it's wrong. And here's all the points you said were wrong. They only said it now because people have been demanding. So now we're in a situation where they've pushed themselves towards the limit of that. I don't know what you do, but I pointed all the way back to our old friend replay where we started this whole thing off and we demanded perfection. You're never going to get perfection. And buddy, when you start scrutinizing every little call, you're going to be very unsatisfied with what you get.
What you do if you're the NBA is you call it the way you say you're supposed to call it. If you're admitting that these calls are wrong, even with James Harden shifting his landing spot, if you're admitting that that's the wrong call by the letter of the laws, you got to call it the way it's supposed to be called. And then in the offseason, you can try and address it. That is it. That's all you can do. And as far as this being on replay, Peter, I can see your point. I disrespectfully agree with you on some of this. Disrespectfully, though. But it's hard. The game isn't going to be called perfectly. We've been complaining about officiating as a society forever. All that's changed now is we have these stats to back it up, these analytics, as you pointed out, to back it up. And what's going to happen, what has to happen now is the leagues have to adjust. The rules have to adjust to take into a consideration, into account replay. and getting things wrong. And okay, how do we? What exactly are we trying to do? Exactly what is the letter of the law? And how is this game supposed to be played? And let's get rules in place to exemplify that. But unfortunately, nothing can be done until, I guess, the offseason when everybody comes together and meets up. But again, we've been complaining about officiating, and the only thing that has changed is the ability for a Houston or any other team to say, hey, here's the report. Here's the analytics on it. You've costed us this many points. That's the only thing that has changed.
Yeah, but that's a big thing to change, because that is an admission by the league that they were wrong. And here is, not only were they wrong, this is not like one of those apologies that you get sometimes when, like, oh, you know what, we messed that up. We're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This is, yeah, we messed it up. Here is the exact chapter and verse of how we messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Here is how many points you were cost by those mess ups. And here are the types of fouls that we messed up on. So then when we mess up on those fouls again, it gets down to the deeper root of this thing. The Rockets think that the more experienced officials do not call those fouls the way that the younger officials do. That the younger officials have been trained to look for how the shooter lands and encroachments of the landing area. But older officials, and this was a fairly experienced crew, 9 years, 16 years, and 19 years were the three officials in there.
Wow.
So a lot of experience. The Rockets have long felt that experienced officials do not make the same calls. They just, even though they're supposed to, they just don't, because that's just the way that it's been. And, you know, this goes back to when Zaza Pachulia undercut Kawhi Leonard in that Spurs-Warriors series in 2017, and Kawhi landed on his ankle and turned it, and that changed the entire complection of the series.
They were beating the hell out of Golden State.
It was
running them off the court.
That changed everything. It absolutely did. I mean, who knows what would have happened if that hadn't happened. So, you know, protecting the shooters has become paramount. But again, where do you draw that line between protecting the shooters? And as texters point out at 67129, Houston tries selling fouls so much during the season, the same calls aren't made during the playoffs. You know, I mean, when you make your hay on selling fouls, that's not going to work all the time. Some officials aren't going to make those calls all the time. You're not going to. And I mean, is that really what we want to see? Do we want to see on every 3-point shot,
no.
three foul shots?
No, and that goes back to the NBA stepping in. Like, okay, what is this game? What are we
trying to do?
What is the game supposed to look like?
Right.
Is the game supposed to look like this? One of the great things to me about the NBA is, can't nobody land after shooting a jump shot. Nobody shoots a jump shot and stands straight up. Everybody's shooting a jump shot and falling down. Like they somehow forgot how to jump and land on 2 feet. I love it. But is that what the game's supposed to be? God, no. No, so then what do you do as a league to try and stop that action?
That's why they're in a really tough spot here. And it's not just this game. I mean, it's officials all over. Officials are under attack. I mean, it's tough. In hockey, you've got this major officiating controversy that's happened in one of the series. They talked about waiting for the apology from the league and all of this stuff. In soccer, we had an incredible, crazy situation that happened in one of the English leagues where it's a long story, but again, the official was part of this major mess up, and people are going crazy and losing their minds. It's weird, and it's like we've created this environment now where, like, it's really, really hard to be an official. It's really, really hard with all the replay and everything else. It's very, very difficult to do. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Lots more to get to. Great text coming in at 67129 on that First Bank text line. Please send those in. We're just getting started on this Monday. Peter and CJ with you on The Experience. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stats. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Embrace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Embrace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
The Family Leisure. Great outdoor sales happening now. Want to add a swimming pool to your backyard? Or how about finishing off your outdoor space with new patio furniture? Then all you have to do is visit Family Leisure. All new outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, and pergolas, they're all in. Plus, special pricing on all in-stock hot tubs. Mention this ad, you get a free pool float with your purchase. The great outdoor sale at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come to Holly Chevrolet in Marion and get your best deal. Right now, save over $9,000 off MSRP on a 2018 Chevy Silverado LTZ. Or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on an all-new 2019 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star. Stop by today and check out Holly's large selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs ready for you to enjoy. And at Holly Chevrolet, it's a no-pressure, no-hassle environment. As a matter of fact, there's no Badgers and never pay a dock fee. Find new roads at exit 14 off I-55 in Marion, just 15 minutes from downtown Memphis, and online at hollychevrolet.com.
2018 Chevy Silverado LTZ, stock number N3256, 0% financing on approved credit. All discounts, rebates, and incentives are included and applied. Plus, qualified finance with GM Financial and have a 99 or newer GM product. Prices will include tax, tag, title, and registration. Take delivery by 4/30/19. See dealer for details.
When you feel heartburn up in your throat, you'll do anything for fast relief. You might chug milk directly from the source.
Okay, girl. Easy.
You might slurp down an entire slushie in a single breath.
Oh, that didn't help.
Don't try just anything. Try new Rolaids Heartburn Soothers, the only antacid that melts to leave a cooling sensation while it starts working as fast as now to relieve heartburn.
Oh, that's better.
Soothe the burn with new Rolaids Heartburn Soothers. Use as directed.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I love the way you call a foul. Let me land in your landing area.
That does sound like a nice lyric.
Uh-huh.
Like just in the hook. Let me land in your landing.
Let me land in that landing area.
Let's go.
Hey, girl, let me get that landing area. There you go. Would you call a foul if I got in your landing? That's a different kind of lyric right there.
Yes.
This is not puddle of mud. Puddle of mud.
I like puddle of mud.
I'll give myself a round of applause for pulling that out.
Good job.
All right, thank you. Well, I mean, you were going to say it, so I got to congratulate myself. If you were, a little more open with your praise, that'd be nice. I wouldn't have to pat myself on the back.
Get out of here. This is one of those times where I will disrespectfully disagree with you.
You always
full disrespect.
That's what I was saying. No matter what it is, it's disrespectful. So I have to really boost my own self-esteem over
You do.
here. Welcome back to the program. It is 7:30 in the Family Leisure Studios. I am Peter Edmiston. He is C.J. Hurt. That's Max Vincent on the other side of the glass. It's the experience on a Monday morning. We are talking controversy, baby. That's what this is all about. Sports is not about sports anymore. Sports is about controversy. Sports is about landing areas. It's about forensic analysis of whether things should be called or should not be called. It's about angles. It's about what's the angle of the release, what's the angle of the drop, where do the James Harden's feet land relative to the rest of his body? Is it a natural land, or is it impossible for him to stand up? This is what sports is all about. When Dr. James Naismith developed basketball, this is what he had in mind. Correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
Okay, you're right.
Incorrect on what Dr. James Naismith had in
Dr.
mind.
James A. Naismith.
But incorrect on this is what sports is. Sports is complaining about officiating and then making adjustments to the officials and then making adjustments to those adjustments this time of the year. This is what sports is.
Well, this is very difficult to make a call. So what I think we should do, after every jump shot in this series, we should have a replay. Just stop the game and go back and analyze it for maybe a minute. You'll go to the booth in Secaucus and have all of them analyze it. Secaucus, that's where the NBA's replay booth is.
Okay, cool.
In Secaucus. And every shot, just take a minute to replay whether or not it was legit or not. And then the game will take about 4.5 hours, but every call will be correct one way or the other.
Still won't be as long as an Avengers movie.
A bit more entertaining. What if we'd replay that? Like, let's go back. That was illegal. You can't. No, can't. That was an illegal blow from Thanos. You can't do that. Let's go back.
A replay booth in Avengers would be awesome.
Game of Thrones. Oh, I'm afraid the Night King. Oh, we can't do that, buddy. That's a 15-yard penalty. You cannot sacrifice your army of the dead to create a wall in this fire. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't spoil it, but that's illegal. You can't do that. That's against the rules. Sorry, guys. So this, but again, I go back to this is a natural consequence of the road that we went down, and a great example to me, CJ, of what life teaches us all the time, which is that every action that we undertake typically has lots of unintended consequences. Everything that you do thinking that you are fixing something, maybe you fix that one thing, but then you open up the door to other things that are now unfixed because you fixed this one particular thing. Okay, the NBA opened up scrutiny to these, because people said, well, in the wake of the Tim Donaghy stuff, how much is this real? Is anyone on the take? So, okay, let's be more transparent. Okay, that sounds good. Look, final 2 minutes. Now, I don't know why you sort of arbitrarily pick the 2-minute game, 5-minute scoreline, all this stuff. But whatever. Like you're trying to be more open.
Yes.
Now, to the point, does that really matter? Like if the NBA makes that admission that they were wrong, it doesn't change the outcome of the game. But okay. But having done that, now you have opened the door to Houston getting access to all of this data for every call, for every game that they were in, and being able to list and say, well, actually, we ended up minus 93 in the last series because of all of these calls that you made against us and you made in favor of the Warriors. So now we come into this thinking that we are being aggrieved, and we play the game with a chip on our shoulder, expecting to be screwed, and lo and behold, we are screwed. But we're also making we're shooting these 3-pointers with the idea not just to try to make the shot, like that last shot that could have tied the game. if James Harden is more focused on just taking the shot and not trying to draw a foul from Draymond Green, who is contesting, does he take a better shot? Would James Harden be shooting better than 24% against the Warriors over the last 8 playoff games if he actually just took the shots rather than trying to worry about whether the fouls are coming or not coming or what's happening if he just had a normal motion? Because he shot 4 of 16 yesterday. He shot 24% last year against the Warriors. Like, it's all in his head now. And he might be right on some of these fouls, but now it's in his head. So we've created this monster. We didn't even mean to, but now we have, and it's threatening to take over the actual game itself, which was a very tense, well-played, defensive game. For those of you that are talking about how much there's too much offense in the NBA, you should have liked this game. It's a very well-played defensive game.
Yep. And the NBA, again, in a tough spot. But if the rules say this, you got to enforce the rules and then deal with the consequences of enforcing those rules when they come. Because if you're not enforcing the rules, that is more egregious than trying to, at this point, keep the spirit of the game intact. That is the deal as far as that goes. And the rules are in place because Jalen Rose slid under Kobe Bryant, because Zaza slid under Kawhi Leonard. You don't
Bruce
want
Bowen.
Bruce freaking Bowen.
I mean, Bruce Bowen.
You
sliding into everybody.
You don't want that happening. You don't want superstars going down.
Or
injured.
anyone, hopefully.
You don't. I said what I said. I said what I said, because none of this matters if Bruce Bowen doesn't slide under Kobe and messes his ankle up. None of this happens if Zaza isn't sliding under Kawhi. If Zaza slides under Danny Green, okay, whatever. Zaza slides under Kawhi as the Spurs are beating the hell out of Golden State, and still lost that game because Golden State is good enough when a megastars off the court to take advantage.
Well, we saw this weekend Kawhi is when he's playing well, he's the Night King, man. He's tough.
Now we're off on something else, but because Kawhi is quiet and is now playing in Canada.
Would you say he's quiet?
He is very quiet. We have forgotten how great this dude is. But we see this. We don't want something happening where all of a sudden Chris Paul, James Harden goes down injured because insert Warrior here is not giving them a space to land. We don't want to see that. That ruins the series. That takes a star out of it.
But if you leap 3 feet in front like you're in the long jump, and then you end up landing on somebody because you have changed your place to land. I mean, there is a certain sphere of area where you should be allowed to land in, but if you leap outside of that sphere, I can't control. As Draymond Green said, I've been fouled by James Harden on James Harden threes. Once Reggie Miller kicks his legs way out to the side, like if I hit your leg, well, buddy, like but we don't kick it out that far.
We saw the league adjust to that, didn't we?
Well, they've tried to.
Reggie,
yeah.
We saw the league adjust to Reggie Miller leg kicks. We saw the league also adjust to Kobe Bryant. Remember, Kobe Bryant would get hit, arms go everywhere, punching people in the face, breaking folks' noses and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was doing that because people were getting in his landing area. And just so they happened to hit the ball, Kobe was also Kobe, so he was going to punch you. And so the league has made adjustments to try and get rid of some of that in the sport. And now we're left with this awkward situation, which is natural because everybody wants to get a leg up on somebody. Everybody wants to bend the rules, twist the rules to their advantage. What the league has got to do now is, unfortunately, in the offseason, can't do it right now because you can't adjust on the fly for some reason. But in the offseason, say, hey, look, let's take a step back. Let's take a look at what the game is supposed to be. Let's see how people have made adjustments to our trying to take certain elements out of the game, and let's fix it to the best of our ability.
The problem lies, though, that in my mind at least, we've probably never had a tougher game to officiate in terms of the speed and the way that it's played. But we've also never had more opportunity to scrutinize the officials. And it goes back to Mark Cuban, back in 2006 with the Mavericks and them, in his mind, getting screwed in that series with the Miami Heat. That he felt like that was insane, and he felt like the officials that the Donaghy stuff in that same time certainly didn't help the NBA. The referees had a very well earned reputation for calling it in kind of weird ways and had superstar rules and all this stuff. But you have to acknowledge this is just, you're seeing it in soccer. You're seeing it in football. You saw it in the national championship game and in the semifinals and in the college game and basketball wise on the men's side. As long as the game is officiated by human beings and it's a fast-paced game, there are going to be judgment calls all the time. And very often those judgment calls will be wrong. Those judgment calls, in all likelihood, those judgment calls are wrong because the officials are human and they just make the mistakes. It's unlikely, not impossible, I suppose, but unlikely that there's some major conspiracy against a team. Could be.
Except for your team.
The Donaghy, well. Yeah.
Whatever your team is, there's definitely a conspiracy.
But the Donaghy stuff
it doesn't
added
help.
fuel to the fire because that was a legitimate thing. Like you absolutely. So like, yeah, that now you've opened up that box of people like, double and triple checking and like, making sure everything's right. Point is, we are all humans, including the officials. And this is what I said 3 weeks ago about this whole thing with the national championship game, and I'll continue to say it. As soon as we start with this replay stuff and we start to give people avenues for those grievances being legitimately addressed and then like reacted to by the league itself in all these different facets, now you have allowed them to feel legitimately aggrieved and you bolstered that. Well, that's only going to make it worse. The leagues should come out and just say, look, we make mistakes all the time. We cannot get everything right. And the sooner we all admit that, the happier we're going to be. We try our best. Everyone's trying their best. I promise you. We will go through and we will scrutinize that and try to get better. But we can't get every call right. And when you start adding up the points that are called, everyone is going to be miserable. No one is going to be having anything approaching fun. This is not entertaining. It's just waiting to be agreed. Feel it when you go to the games. The fans are just waiting to just kill the officials.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that literally, thankfully, but you suck, ref, you suck. Like those chants are they're right on deck. You're just waiting. That's not the environment that's it's not fun sports. We're just waiting to be mad. Just waiting for something to get mad about.
That is also sports. We want to take our day out on somebody. And referees have been and will, Peter, unfortunately, always be one of those people in society you can take your day out on. You can take your frustrations out on. And if you're the NBA, I don't know what to do because they had a serious credibility issue with the Donaghy stuff. It's like, well, what can we do? People are already saying unjustly, I think, that is rigged. Not only are the games rigged, but the draft is rigged. That this is rigged. The free agency is rigged. All this stuff is rigged. And there are all these conspiracy theories out there about our league, our product. If we're putting something out there that the world does not believe is authentic, what can we do? Well, let's make it more authentic. How can we do that? Hey, let's do this 2-minute report. Let's see how that works. And this is an unintended consequence, like you were saying, of that 2-minute report. I don't know what you do if you're the NBA to give people confidence in you, in your credibility, and hey, there's no funny business going on, and take away some of the unintended consequences of this replay. So you don't have a Houston sitting here saying, hey, you cost us 93 points in this series. Or a Rudy Gobert for the Utah Jazz saying, hey, you guys didn't let us defend them that way. What's going on here? What's the deal here? Are you guys giving them special treatment? Are you giving the Warriors special treatment? Because we couldn't get out there and contest like that. It was a foul every time we did it. So it's a fine line. It's a weird line, a line that is created because the NBA has slipped up, messed up here in the not too distant past. But they've got to figure out how to do a better job of this.
It's huge. It's huge. We'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap up our number one. We'll talk about some of the other games too on the court. We'll get to your texts as well. Lots of good texts coming in at 67129. No, not really. You want to talk about it?
Not really. This is way more interesting.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about something when we return to the Family Studio.
We'll talk about something.
Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
From Penny, the Tiger player.
I think it's just every Hardaway this, every Hardaway that, but we have just more than one player on the team.
Through Penny, the Tiger coach.
Well, I think the main game plan is we can teach you. We're going to develop you. We're going to get you better.
For over 25 years, we have been real sports talk for Memphis in the Mid-South. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
A great restaurant makes you feel like you're in the right place from the very beginning. And there's no greater restaurant in downtown Memphis than 117 Prime. And Prime knows how to start your meal better than any other place. Starters range from the char-grilled oysters to the roasted Brussels sprouts with Benton's bacon to the white truffle palm frites to the breathtaking butcher's platter, always featuring something new and special you didn't even know you were craving. Try the best crab cakes you've ever tasted. A great restaurant is great right from the start. And 117 Prime is downtown Memphis's great restaurant.
Duncan Williams presents Live at the Gardens 2019. This year's stupendous lineup is June 7th, Kansas, June 13th, the Doobie Brothers, August 2nd, Lionel Richie, August 31st, Toby Keith, and September 14th, Brett Young. All tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or at the Memphis Titanic Box last. For more information, visit liveatthegardens.com. Also presented by FedEx, True Green, Infinity of Memphis, Regions Bank, Radiance Pro Show, Mahaffey Tent, and PDR. Live at the Gardens 2019.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Lowe's knows you'll do it right and do it yourself to tackle your turf and save. We do it right too, with trusted brands and everyday deals to make it happen. Now when you buy any John Deere E or D Series lawn tractors, get $100 on a Lowe's gift card via mail-in rebate. And add color to pots and garden beds and save with a 12-pack of select annuals, now 2 for $16. For great savings on spring projects. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 5/1. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.
How would you like to get that edge back? Feel better at 40, 50, maybe 60 like me, better than you did at 25 or 30. You know, I've talked a long time about New Life. Used to be Men's Health. Now it's New Life Medical Center. And you know, we've talked about testosterone where you get all the energy really right through the roof. You sleep like a baby, you lose weight, you got more mental focus. But they didn't talk about the ladies. Well, now New Life Medical Center, this is why they changed the name, offers female hormone therapy. Therapy specifically designed to improve female libido. That's right. Now, this is full medical. There's sick visits. There's flu shots. There's still testosterone for you men. But I got to tell you, you got to check it out, ladies. A female hormone therapy. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Highway 64, 8950 to be exact. Or you can go to newlifemedcenters.com or call them at 213-0100. New Life Medical Center.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Is this like, what's our theme today?
It's supposed to be Metal Monday.
Are we still continuing the theme?
Yeah, I know we're always just doing the same themes every. I thought it's like a new theme.
Oh, we can switch it up.
This is like
I'm just gonna mix it up.
This is like soft metal Monday.
Cool.
This is like pseudo metal Monday, whatever this is.
Kind of metal.
Yeah, kind of metalish.
Oh, I like that metalish Monday.
Metalish. Texter points out Chris Paul's booty 3-pointer, which is true. He kind of sticks his little sort of butt, kind of gets that out there. This comes across as a bad look, man. For Houston, just in general, just stop whining, man. This is what they do. They're gaming the system. Like, you know, the NBA has allowed their system to be gamed because they've put this information out there, and Houston is now trying to game it, but it isn't very entertaining to watch, and it creates this endless, like, cesspool of controversy when you could just play the game. Texas says, make the call on Harden when he pushes off. Absolutely. I mean, Harden pushes off quite often. He grabbed Kevon Looney's arm at one point in the game, throws him around, and didn't get called on that. The step back is often a walk. I mean, how many times is that a walk? If you went to analyze every single, so a lot of times it's great footwork. Sometimes it's a walk. Do we analyzing every single one of those? How many points are lost or gained as a result of that? I mean, this is what I mean. This Pandora's box. When you start doing this, no one has any fun.
That may be the correct response from the NBA. If Houston is saying, hey, you cost us 93 points, the NBA should come out with a report like, hey, Houston, if we called it straight down the line, this is how many points we've given you. You've been allowed to get because of some missed calls in your favor. Calls are missed both ways. Both ways. Houston is acting like they're the only aggrieved party ever in the history of NBA basketball by coming out here and saying things like, you cost us 93 points, how can we win the series? Y'all are calling things against us, everything like that. But yeah, the league just come out and say, hey, we missed calls both ways, by the way, Houston. But that, again, would be the league admitting, hey, we're not doing a very good job of calling the game.
That's it right there.
But, I mean, that would be my response. Like, oh, you think, we've given you 150 points with all the push-offs and step-back travels and double dribbles we've allowed you guys, moving screens.
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. You're never, ever, 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 ever going to achieve anything with all this. It's never going to get to a point where everyone's happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because you're not approaching it in a good faith way. So this is how I feel about a lot of the political discourse that we have right now. Like, are we really approaching this in a good faith way? Are we trying to actually reach a resolution, or are we just trying to complain? And we're trying to find our own little niche, and then we're just going to burrow in that thing and feel like we're aggrieved and all this. Are we going to actually, are we trying to come to a consensus or not? Like, I don't get the sense that the Houston is trying here.
No.
So
no,
they're going to find their own little way to get mad, and then they're just going to stay mad. And and then the Warriors, I'm sure, same thing. I'm sure they'll find their own. I mean, are we really trying to make the game? None of this is good for the game overall. Ultimately, you guys are harming your own product.
Yeah.
By lessening fan faith in what they're seeing and actually being able to enjoy it without over scrutinizing every little element of it. It was a really, like I said, it was a really good game. The defense that was played was sound. I thought in general, this was kind of a diminished Warriors team because you could tell Klay Thompson was out there, but he wasn't 100%. Steph Curry wasn't 100%. Those guys are not. They got in Klay's case the ankle. Steph appears to be a little bit hurt himself. He's not quite right. Durant was really dominant here, ball dominant. And that's why the Warriors offense just wasn't that. When Durant's ball dominant, the Warriors offense isn't quite as good. It doesn't flow in the same way as when he's not.
But he had to be ball dominant because of Klay and Steph.
Well, then that's why having him is such a cheat code. I mean, because if you can either run the typical Warriors super fun, moving the ball around, all that, or you could just give it to Kevin Durant, who's 7 feet and can make everything, and just ISO with him all day long and get the switches. And most of the stuff they ran was to try to get mismatches on Durant, which they did. And Houston could only defend him. So I mean, Houston's not big, and they played small for the vast majority of the game. So PJ Tucker's the biggest guy on the court, or Daniel House was the biggest guy on the court at times. He's 6'7". He's not that strong. Tough when you have a 7-footer that can do what Durant can do. So that's why that's what we talked about. The other game too from yesterday. What a eye-opening performance from Boston.
Here's my understanding.
Woo! 112-90, just whipping up on those Bucks.
We don't appreciate Al Horford enough. And two,
average Al, they called him.
Outside of your average minds. Disrespectfully disagree on that. Because his defense on Giannis was spectacular. Two, the Bucks are great defensively, and they're great because they take away the corner three and the shots at the rim. That is my understanding of why they're good defensively. Boston is good offensively because they live in the mid-range and they shoot the top of the key three really, really well, which the Bucks don't defend well at all. So it is weakness on strength, strength on weakness. And this series is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I mean, this is the thing is that they got what they wanted, though. I mean, there was no issue with the Kyrie and Horford pick and roll set the table for everything. And they were able to spread the floor. Jaylen Brown had a really good game on top of that. And you could survive a poor game from Jason Tatum, at least on the offensive end. and you're just kind of doing average stuff. But he was really good defensively, as was Al Horford, as you mentioned. I mean, Al was spectacular. And here's the problem with the Bucks, and this is where you're going to have to figure it out if you are, Mike Budenholzer and that coaching staff. Like, they're a 60-win team. They are a very, very talented group. No question about it. Giannis is probably the MVP this year.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, he was. But he was also a minus 24 in this game. By far and away, the team's worst.
Mm-hmm.
In a 22-point game. Brook Lopez, for example, was a +2 as part of that same starting lineup. So Giannis being a minus 24 is a real problem, because that means this guy was on the court. And when the Bucks made their run in the second quarter to get back in the game, they made a 15-0 run. They did it without Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis being such a single-handed, major monopolistic part of this offense, being the big guy, they've figured out pretty quickly how to defend what he does. He can't just continue to bulldoze to the rim the way that he likes to do in the regular season. And you can do that in the regular season. You can't do that against Horford. You can't do that against the Celtics. They are walling him off and are basically daring, say, all right, Chris Middleton, do you think you can do this on a volume basis? Eric Bledsoe, you going to be able to make these threes? We're going to let you take a crack at it, because we're not going to let Giannis beat us. So you dish it out. We would rather face Sterling Brown, Eric Bledsoe, George Hill 3-pointers than we would let Giannis do his thing. And if they beat us, then so be it. Well, let's find out if they can beat him, because right now, yesterday, the answer was nope, not even close
at all.
And Paul Pierce always has these crazy comments. He says it's already over. Like, I don't.
No, it's not. No.
That's a couple things he's already said. Like, he's better than D Wade. Well, this series is already over. Like, come on.
But here's the thing: if you're going to play Pat Connaughton 24 minutes, the series is over. Because Pat Connaughton,
I saw the series going at least 7 games. I mean,
at least
game
7.
1.
You think you go 8?
At least.
You go 8
at
or
least
9?
We're going 10.
Oh yeah, they can go 8 or 9. But like,
okay,
yeah, up to 7. Like, this could be a game 7 series.
You remind me of.
It kind of had the Rockets in 6.
My favorite quote from Maurice Spates was after game 1. I remember when the Grizzlies lost to the Clippers, and the Clippers came back in that ridiculous game 1 back in 2012, I think it was. Yeah. And I asked Spates in the locker room about it, and he said, "Well, don't worry about it, man. We got 7 more games." I was like, "Game 1 plus 7 more."
They're going 8, baby.
Going 8. Mo. I love Mo. Mo's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I love Mo. We'll take a break. Come back. Hour number 2 on the way. We'll get into some of the other games as well, and the NFL draft, which was a major bust in Nashville, as I thought it would be. Oh wait, actually, this just in. Not true. We'll talk about that.
Stop hating on Nashville.
No, I can't. More after this on The Experience, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
So much about life is moving forward. We either follow or we lead. Deciding which makes all the difference. But so many of us, especially when confronted with difficult life issues, end up living somewhere in the middle of life's best qualities and opportunities. God wants more from us and for us. He wants us to be at peace with life, but not be stagnant in the opportunities for being able to live out His grace. In what ways have you grown stagnant in your spiritual walk? Have the troubles of life defined your view of the possibilities of life, or vice versa? How does learning to make the best of our circumstances refrain our potential for making a difference in our world? My name is Shane Stanford from Christ Church, Memphis. Remember, you matter.
Visit ChristchurchMemphis.org.
Shoot it! We deliver tickets, team merchandise, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told one of the worst things people have to do is find a contractor for a home improvement project. And I get it. Everyone claims they're the best. Everyone claims their service is the best. Everyone claims their warranties are the best. And everyone claims there's no reason to look any further than right here. Well, that just isn't true. Everyone should always talk to several contractors. Everyone should verify what they're being told, and no one should ever be pressured into making a decision before they're ready. Five-Ash Roofing, best products, best warranties, and the attention to detail you deserve. But don't take my word for it. Verify it for yourself. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. The official roofer of the University of Memphis, and now a proud member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. That's 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Spring is here, so be sure to visit Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch to check out their new line of Carhartt jeans, pants, and shirts, as well as dress and work boots. Frontier has a special spring sale on Carhartt t-shirts to announce. Now through the end of the month, save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, and all sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. To make Frontier's spring sale even sweeter, all Carhartt shorts are 25% off. There's select clearance styles of boots marked down too. Shop Ariat, Double H, Rocky, and more for incredible deals. And last, Frontier's sale on exotic boots like ostrich and alligator is extended until the end of the month. Save up to $50 on every pair in the store. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
The forensic analyst searched for clues to the house fire.
Could that be
Starch? Suddenly it came together. The fire was started by
an over-microwaved potato?
Covered, July 25th, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Listen up, Rebel fans. You can now listen to Rebel Yell Hotline on 87.7 FM or on the web each and every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. If you can't listen to 87.7 FM, Sports 56 has made it possible to listen online each and every week. All you have to do is go to sports56whbq.com and click on the Rebel Yell Hotline banner to listen. That's Rebel Yell Hotline each and every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on 87.7 FM or on the web at sports56whbq.com.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Your home for the Ole Miss Rebels. Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and WPGFLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 on Medalish Monday. Is that right? Medalish?
Medalish.
What is this?
Diary of Jane.
Is that the band or the song?
Name of the song.
Who's the band?
Breaking Benjamin's the band.
Breaking Benjamin.
Nah.
I've heard of neither the song nor the band.
You never heard of the song? Really?
No, man, I haven't.
Yeah.
Well, now you have.
I have, and my life is
okay without it.
It was fine before, and it's fine now. It has no material impact on my life. Welcome back to the program. Thank you for introducing me to that, Max. I am Peter. He is CJ. This is The Experience. It's 70 degrees, and it should be a really nice day out here in the Bluff City. Beautiful weekend weather, really. I mean, it was awesome. Like, if you couldn't go out this weekend and go and find something fun to do. Yesterday was like the ideal weather-wise, just perfect.
Yes.
Saturday was maybe a touch windy, a little overcast, but it was still very nice outside. And then plenty of like this weekend, there were 300 festivals. There'll be 300 things to do every weekend. You know, you got Music Fest coming up this weekend.
Cannot wait for this weekend.
You gonna go watch?
I'm going Saturday and Sunday.
To see who?
Breaking Benjamin?
No. Well, they were actually here about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep. No one noticed.
No, Max, who you gonna go see?
I can't remember what day G-Eazy comes. Is he Friday or Saturday?
I think G-Eazy is Saturday. I think G-Eazy is
check out
Saturday.
Cardi. I might check out Cardi.
Is Sunday.
Yeah, she's Sunday.
Okay.
That Cardi show's gonna be something else.
I'm not even like a fan of her, but I just want to see how that's going to be
part of that experience. That experience, yeah.
I am a fan of Cardi. Cardi B is great lyrically.
I like Cardi B.
I like it.
I'm just past the point where I want to be part of an experience that involves like tens of thousands of people, and I just all
mushed in there
just kind of just milling about, and I'm kind of just I don't know. I think there's a point. I'm not sure what point that was in my life, but I feel like I'm on the other side of that point.
I need to get to one of those festivals one of these years.
Have you ever been to a festival?
To a music festival?
You've never been to like?
He's never been to a concert.
You've never been to a concert?
Well, you've been to one, right?
I've been to
one concert.
I've been to one.
So yeah, if you've never been to a concert, then you certainly have never been to a music festival.
Correct.
Why don't you go to things?
I do go to things. I just don't go to those things.
Why don't you go?
Why don't you do anything?
You like music.
Know.
You like music. Why don't you go to music festivals? I mean, this is ridiculous. You like movies. You go to movies.
Yes.
Because you like movies.
Yes.
Why don't you go to? This is like going to a movie except with music.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't.
I don't either. You go to restaurants.
That's because I really.
You're texting me on like the weekend, like, "Hey, I'm at this place."
Oh, did go to that place.
Yeah,
it was so good.
He's texting me on the so like he's obviously not, agoraphobic. He's going to leave the house.
Yes, I definitely leave the house. I do things, just the things
you said
that
do, by the way.
I do. I do. Sometimes I don't do. But for the most part, I do.
Sorry, a lot of 7-year-old jokes this weekend. So my mind is still very much in that.
I do things. That's just not one of those things that I do.
You want to hear it?
Yes, very much.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ho ho.
Ho ho who?
You need to work on that Santa impression.
I like that so much.
I know, it's a good one. I enjoyed that one a lot. So we're talking about the ridiculous Warriors-Rockets beef. People barely noticed the Warriors actually won the game. From a basketball perspective, we're too busy worried about the officials and what happened and the aftermath and all this stuff. That's just kind of how it's going to be. The other game yesterday, Boston knocks off Milwaukee 112-90. A very, very impressive game from Boston. Very impressive from Brad Stevens. Very impressive from that group. Al Horford was spectacular. And Boston, for all the talk about, oh, man, there's some weird stuff going on. It was weird. The regular season was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyrie, for all of his weirdness, and that is a weird dude. There is no question. From the flat earth nonsense to some of the weird stuff that comes out of his mouth. I don't know what kind of planet my man is on. He is sometimes he's just a space cadet.
Mm-hmm.
But that Joker can play in the playoffs. That dude, he is a basketball player that has maybe it's because his mind is so weird, but he has no concept of pressure and fear and big moments, any of that stuff. That dude is clutch, and he is as Draymond Green likes to say, he is a 16-game player. He had a great regular season too, statistically, but man, I mean, he's nasty in the postseason, man. You can't deal with him.
And a whole lot of teams don't have. Most teams don't have somebody who can neutralize.
I mean, like
when he decides to get going, you just got to eat it. Like, just take this L.
I mean, it's 26, 7, and 11.
Till the face take the L. That's it. And if you're super mega star and Giannis isn't going to match Kyrie's level of production.
Which he did not. Not even close.
Again, before the break, shout out to Al Horford. Congratulations. Al Horford is very, very good. And he does all the things that we don't talk about and we don't give a lot of credit for doing. Well,
I give a lot of credit.
You do. Well, we as a society in general don't. It is Kyrie's team.
Actually, a lot of times I don't either.
It's Kyrie.
I just wanted to make myself
We want to
sound
talk
cool.
about Jason Tatum. We want to talk about all these other awesome pieces that the Celtics have. And it's like, hey, pump your brakes. If Al Horford's not there, the Celtics team is not very good or is not as good as they are now.
Yeah,
and
if he's not healthy.
Al Horford, what he was able to do defensively to really stymie, neutralize Giannis in that game, it was huge and it was big. And it allowed Kyrie to go off, and him going off was not in vain. It was not all for naught because he's out there locking down Giannis, as you pointed out, the MVP of the NBA this year.
It was very it was as good a game one performance as you could have possibly hoped for if you're a Celtics fan. And that team, they got confidence, man. They got swag, whatever you want to say. They walked in there and put their foot down right away in that series. They were up, 16, 17 points in the first quarter. I mean, they set a standard and they sent a message early on. And let's see, now I'll be curious to see if the Bucks can respond.
It is important to have playoff experience. And this, for as young as this Boston team is, it's a Boston team that has a ton of playoff experience versus this Bucks team who is kind of here for the first time. And so they go out there and the Boston Celtics know what it takes, know the intensity level they need to play with, know how to weather runs, how to go on runs, and come out victorious. Whereas this Bucks team, sure, they won that first playoff series, but they were just so much better than Detroit. They just were. So they never faced any type of adversity. Now it's time. There's a difference in regular season adversity and playoff adversity. And now the Bucks are face to face with playoff adversity. And it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, how they overcome it, if they can overcome it.
We'll find out. Now, the other second round game that we saw over the weekend was Marc Gasol and the Toronto Raptors easily handling Philly.
Shocking.
I mean, easy.
Shocking.
108-95, and that was not at all reflective of how dominant the performance was by the Raptors as they went in and put it to Philly basically from the get-go and were in cruise control for much of this game. And it was those starters, I mean, they got very little from their bench. They had no bench points the first half of this game. Ended up with 10 bench points, but that was it. Only from 7 from Ibaka, 3 from Van Vliet, but it didn't matter because Kawhi had 45 and 11 on 16 of 23 shooting, and Pascal Siakam had 29 on 12 of 15 shooting, which means if you're scoring at home, and they were scoring at home and in the arena in that game, that means that the Raptors' two best players, with respect to Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol, Kawhi and Siakam, combined to go 28 of 38 for 74 points.
That's a lot of points.
74 points on 38 shots. Now, if you take 2 points per shot, that's 76 points. So basically, that is the equivalent of them going 37 of 38 from dunks. If you gave them 38 dunks, then you would expect them to they probably would miss one honestly, 38 dunks, you probably miss one in being contested. So that's essentially what they did. Mm-hmm. That's like the amount of efficiency they displayed was that level where give them 38 dunks. That's how good. How do you deal with that?
I don't know. And this is not the Raptors I'm used to. I was like, game one, Toronto's going to come out.
They always lose game one at home. They
Toronto's
always
going to
lose.
be so bad. Kyle Lowry.
They lost to the Magic in game one at home.
Kyle Lowry may get 12 points. He may get 12 points on 12 shots. And I look up and Kyle Lowry has 9 points.
On 10 shots?
10 shots.
Yes.
It's like, that's game one Kyle.
That checks out.
That's who he is. All right. They're going to suck this game. They're going to lose this. Nope. Kawhi goes off. 45. And Siakam's 29. It's like, what is Kyle Lowry even out here for?
But Kyle had a great game.
He did.
He had a great game. I will have no Kyle Lowry slander on this show right now. Kyle is playing.
I'm not saying this to slanderize Kyle Lowry. I'm just saying this is a Kyle Lowry from a point standpoint game. But the Raptors found a way to obliterate.
But he played great defense. That's the thing. He played great defense. Mm-hmm. Kyle Lowry's defense was on point, was extremely good. And then who was the biggest plus minus star? It wasn't Leonard. It wasn't Siakam. It was Marc Gasol. In 26 minutes, they were plus 29. in those minutes, which means in the 22 minutes Marc Gasol didn't play, the Sixers outscored the Raptors by 16 points.
Mm-hmm.
Marc Gasol's defense on Joel Embiid.
You pointed this out last week.
He's always played him well. And again, in this game, it was the same thing. Like Embiid, very, very poor. I mean, had nothing to offer. 5 of 18, just 16 points. And he actually ended up being a +4, which tells you, again, the rest of the team's problems. But he was dominated defensively by Marc. I mean, this is dominated.
And if Embiid isn't running the court, and by running the court, I mean running up and down, but controlling the court, the best player on the floor.
The Lion. He likes to have some swagger. He likes to.
If he's not that, this team can't win a series.
No.
They can't. They rely so heavily on him, as well they should, because Joel Embiid is a mega talent. But if he's not going off, it is very hard for Ben Simmons and Butler to do their thing. And we know J.J. Redick, great shooter, but if nobody's getting him the ball, if Embiid is not commanding double teams and that ball does not get the movement and J.J. stepping in rhythm, getting the types of shots that he wants, the easy, uncontested shots, like this team can only go so far. And it looks like it this round.
This looks like so far.
This looks like the so far destination.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with I am really thrilled and happy for Marc Gasol that this is how it's kind of worked out for him.
Mm-hmm.
That he got traded to a team that is a legitimate contender, and the Raptors look like a legit title contender.
Mm-hmm.
That was a title contender performance. I don't know if they can keep it up, whatever, but since they got beaten in that first game by the Magic, they have looked awesome. They've been great. So, yeah, okay, you beat the Magic, whatever. Like, who cares? Magic suck. But that same performance against the Sixers, all right, now the Sixers have that's a 51-win team. You know, you got a little more credibility. You're playing against some all-stars, all that. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And Marc, this is the role, CJ, I've been trying to tell people that Marc needs to be playing for a team that is a legitimate team. The Grizzlies have not been a legitimate contender or anything close to it for a while. But on a legitimate contender, Marc at this stage of his career, Marc was telling you, I mean, I did several pieces, did interviews with him, talked to the guy. You heard, he's telling you, I'm not the offensive guy. I don't want to shoot the ball this much. But unfortunately, because of the role that he was asked to play for the Grizzlies and the lack of any surrounding talent, he had to be the guy that took 15, 20 shots in a game. He doesn't want to do that.
No. And we would get pissed at him for not taking those shots. Like, Marc, just be aggressive, but he would never do it. That's not him.
That is that. I'm just telling you.
We would just all get aggravated. It's like he has. You can easily go off for 30 if you wanted to, but he wouldn't do it.
You can but he can't. He can't easily go off for 30 because it's not his mind.
Like, he has the skills to do it.
Sure, but if you don't have the mindset to do it, it doesn't matter. The skills. He has the skills to do all kinds of different things. People have the skills to do different stuff, but like you gotta. There's a mentality that has to supersede all that.
Let's take it to a different part of basketball. There are a lot of players in the NBA, and this gets said often, especially with guys coming from the high school level to the college and from college to the NBA. He has these skills to be a good defensive player. He's just not. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, he doesn't have that mentality. We accept that from when it's defense versus offense. We struggle to understand why you would have the skills to be an offensive player, to be an offensive scorer, and why you would not score. You know, there is a bit of selfishness that comes in scoring. There's a bit of selfishness in taking all of these shots at the behest of your team, right? There's a bit of, like, what's the word I'm looking for here?
The thing is, Marc just wants to like
play basketball.
He wants to play. He wants the shots to come in the rhythm of the offense, naturally. And he doesn't want to have to be the focal point of those, and he doesn't want to have to create those. And with the Grizzlies, he did, and the fact that he couldn't was a problem. But it goes back to the same thing with Powell. Powell was asked to be like an alpha dude, like the number one guy with the Grizzlies, and they were not very good as a result of that. When he gets traded to the Lakers, now he is the B. He is the Robin to Kobe's Batman. And that's his role. That's what he shines at. And Powell was great. And Powell unlocked different areas of Kobe's game and gave them a chance to win championships that he would not have otherwise been able to do.
Got to.
Because, yeah, and that was a lot of that was Powell. And not because Powell was making a bunch of shots, but because he was serving in that extra, that auxiliary role. And Mark has been saying for a long time, this is what he wants to do. I mean, he's a 34-year-old center. He's not super, he's the opposite of fast. You cannot play fast with Mark. It's impossible. But he has great defensive skills. He's got great mentality. He's a great facilitator. Guy loves to pass, loves to move the ball quickly, loves to keep things rolling, likes to get everybody else involved, doesn't necessarily want to do it all himself. This is the role he was made for. You're watching it now. You're watching this is what he wants. This is his platonic ideal, and he didn't play that much. He played 26 minutes, didn't really play in the fourth quarter. Didn't have to. Serge Ibaka, they got good minutes from Serge, and that's Mark again at his age. It's good to rest him as much as you can. That's the Grizzlies were trying to do. I remember I had a conversation with Mark about a month before he was traded. We were talking about him when he tries to be aggressive offensively. He told me something I thought was interesting. He compared it to like when he starts thinking about his offense and he starts trying to work that in along with all the other options. And he still has this facilitating mindset. He wanted to get, Jared Jackson involved at the time. He's trying to get, Mike going. He's trying to get, the other players going, Garrett Temple, Jermichael Green, whatever it is. He says it's like when you open up Netflix and you start scrolling through to find something to watch, and you never end up watching anything.
30 minutes
because you're too busy thinking, well, if I watch this, then what if I need to. I've been meaning to watch this, but he's like, I just end up doing nothing. Because and people wonder, like, why does Mark sometimes just stand there and not, why did he not, why does he take so, that it's all going through his mind. He's got this like analytical mind of like this move, that move here. This guy needs, like, you're going through all the options. And when you've got this like impetus to shoot and score on top of that, you just freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the Raptors, watch him. The ball touches his hands and like in a nanosecond, it's out. Move, keep the ball moving. You don't have to take all these shots. If you're open, take it, sure. Otherwise, just keep swinging it. That's his thing, man. That's his jam. So I'm thrilled for him because this is like his ideal of what he wants to do in basketball and what he should be doing at this point in his career. It's perfect. And that Raptors move that, at first kind of looked like, is this really going to make that much of a difference? Is it really worth it? It looks like it might be the difference in them being a legitimate title contender versus just a team that's very, very good and very close.
Yeah.
We'll see. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the game 7 between San Antonio and Denver, which was an absolutely bizarre finish. Bizarre. I mean, if you didn't see it, crazy stuff, and how that affects the Grizzlies. We'll discuss that and more as we continue here on the program. This is The Experience. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where they got the great outdoor sale through May 19th. It's your one-stop shop for all your outdoor living needs, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, pergolas. They've all arrived. You got some patio furniture, or if you want to add that swimming pool, it's a perfect time to do it. You mentioned this ad, you get a free pool float with your purchase. It is that simple. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Back after this on The Experience, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
When you think about James Davis, you think custom fit. You know about Stan Shirts. That's the company that revolutionized custom fit. You take 3 measurements, and a week later, you get the perfect shirt. It starts at $98. I've gotten several. My neck fits correctly. And they've added big and tall this spring to go along with everybody else. And that's the only place you can get them. So they did the same thing with suits. James Davis is now doing custom fit suits starting at only $695. And you've got 150 different fabrics to choose from. Besides custom fit, well, James Davis is the home of performance fabrics. Those Paul Battendley suits are still hot and still 2 for $795. Regularly $595 a piece, and they come in classic or slim fit. They have performance fabrics in shirts and shorts and pants. You'll love the 5-pocket slacks. They move with you. James Davis Menswear in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, now celebrating spring.
Sleepy Z's Mattresses by Michael Zellner is the winner of the Memphis Most Best Mattress Store for 4 straight years. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and Sleepy Z's is the mattress store where you can save 50 to 80% off retail store prices every day of the week. They carry Serta and several other brands and have hundreds of mattresses to choose from. Go there today and mention Sports 56. You'll get an extra 10% off any mattress or furniture. Call Michael directly at 901-359-1040. It's Sleepy Z's, located at 2790 Kirby Winton Road.
The Family Leisure Great Outdoor Sales happening now. Want to add a swimming pool to your backyard? Or how about finishing off your outdoor space with new patio furniture? Then all you have to do is visit Family Leisure. All new outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, and pergolas, they're all in. Plus, special pricing on all in-stock hot tubs. Mention this ad, you get a free pool float with your purchase. The Great Outdoor Sale at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Duncan Williams presents Live at the Gardens 2019. This year's stupendous lineup is June 7th, Kansas, June 13th, the Doobie Brothers, August 2nd, Lionel Richie, August 31st, Toby Keith, and September 14th, Brett Young. All tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or at the Memphis Botanic Gardens box office while supplies last. For more information, visit liveatthegardens.com. Also presented by FedEx, True Green, Infinity of Memphis, Regions Bank, Radiance Pro Show, Mahaffey Tent, and PDR. Live at the Gardens 2019.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial 3.
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I mean, this is the Scorpion. It's not metal, but I like it.
I'm just playing any kind of decent rock.
All right.
Ain't gotta be metal.
This is the Scorpions right here.
Cool.
Rock you like a hurricane.
Here I am. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know my Scorpion.
Do you?
No. I can't.
No, you don't.
I can't name another one.
I know Sting. Scorpion Deathlock.
Oh,
You know
yes.
they are.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I know that Scorpion.
For sure. Welcome back to the Experience. I'm Peter Edmiston. He is CJ Hurt. We've been trying to talk about basketball things that are not related to officiating. That was challenging in the first hour, but we've done so. Now, we can talk about a basketball thing that's very challenging and has nothing to do with officiating, and I'm still challenged by it, which is what happened Saturday night with the San Antonio Spurs and the Denver Nuggets. Did you see the end of this game?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Do you know what happened?
No.
Well, do you know what happened, Max?
Good old Popovich. This was very questionable.
This was insane, is what happened. There's like 26 seconds left, I guess, somewhere in that neighborhood, under 30. The Nuggets are up 90-86, which would end up being the final score. So let's say you play the coach, okay?
Okay.
Don't look anything up here. Just you play the coach.
I do remember what happened.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead. Let's go. I'll still play the coach. Let me play the coach.
All right.
Your
team is down 4 points.
Yes.
With 26 seconds left.
26. Okay.
The other team has the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
You got to foul. Got to extend the game. Go for a steal, foul going for the steal.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think certainly.
Get the ball or get the arm.
Worst case scenario is you foul them. You have 20 seconds or so left. You're down 6, 92 to 86 at that point, but you have the ball at half court. Maybe you make a 3, you extend the game. We've seen games won in crazier scenarios than that. I mean, you're probably not going to win, but you might. You got to at least try. What did the Spurs do? Not foul.
Oh,
nothing. They let
strategy.
The Nuggets dribble the entire shot clock out. Then you saw a 3 hoisted up with, just a few seconds left. Spurs got the rebound and the game was over. Like, that was it. This is Greg Popovich, who is, the winningest coach in NBA history, arguably one of the greatest coaches in all of sports. And I don't know whether you could tell he was trying to get his team's attention, but it was kind of late when he even tried to get his team's attention at this point. When this whole thing is unfolding right in front of this slow motion car wreck, everyone is like, I don't know what even the announcers on like the Spurs, broadcast the game are like, what, foul? What are you doing? Foul? What? Like, I mean, everyone's freaking out, which they should be. I was freaking out. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And like, so the coaching staff should absolutely be, ripped for this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But like, you're LaMarcus Aldridge, for example. He's the one who's kind of out there on the perimeter. You're a 10, 11-year vet. How long has this guy been playing basketball?
A while.
His whole life.
Yes.
Don't you know what the score is and what do you need someone to tell you that fouling is the right thing to do in this scenario? Anybody on the court, any of those dudes.
No, you shouldn't need that.
Just
it's
somebody
understand.
Do something.
Anything.
What is happening? That was crazy.
Not only do the coaches, like you pointed out, like that's a major coaching blunder, but if you have any type of basketball IQ, you got to look up at a certain point in time like, wait, why haven't we fouled
What
yet?
are we doing?
We got some foul. Somebody on the court scream, foul.
They're screaming.
Grab him.
Like, they're not here? Like, can they not hear? Is it? It was insane.
Got a foul.
I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I mean, like, it was such a weird way to finish the game. I don't even. It was an ugly Game 7, as many Game 7s are.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just crazy. Like, what on earth?
Mm-hmm. And Popovich in the post game, like, hey, what's going on with the foul? I told them to foul. They must not have heard me. I don't think they heard me. Like, how can they not hear you? How can nobody on the court know they're supposed to foul?
It was really weird.
At some
really,
point,
really weird.
Like, how? You've got to know, hey, clock time is running out. We're only down 4. It's like 12 seconds left. Somebody should probably grab somebody. Hey, grab him.
Well, like, I can't help but think, like, you start playing. If you're the Spurs, I mean, you start training camp in September. You're going through all preseason. You go through an 82-game regular season. You go through the 6 playoff games. You're in the 7th playoff game. It's right down to it. And your season, all that you worked for, ends on that?
Mm-hmm.
What a terrible way to end a season.
That ending.
Like,
spoiler alert, that was not a good ending.
No. I mean, what an unsatisfying conclusion. I mean, it's not the one that, when the Heat came back and won Game 7 and, Game 6, that old Ray Allen. I mean, that was probably a more unsatisfying situation, but this is pretty, like, it's a self-inflicted, like, even if you lost the game, at least if you had fouled, you went down, like, not being stupid. Like, this was just crazy. Yeah. And this is a smart team and a smart coaching staff, and Pop is unassailable. I mean, he's a legend. So I don't know what to do with this. Like, this is just, if this had been some like rookie coach, I mean, it would never end. It would never end. It would be it probably should be for Pop, I guess, by the same rules. But it seems to me like that I can't. Surely there's no way that I can't blame Pop for this. Can I blame Pop for this?
Did nobody in the huddle, like,
nobody
listen? Nobody on the court was listening. We haven't gone over this scenario in practice enough for you to know, hey, 15 seconds left, down 4. Grab somebody.
Let me tell you something, man. The basketball, this is not even basketball IQ. I mean, like, this is just IQ. But like the ability to make smart decisions, call it basketball IQ, call it whatever you want to call it. That is the most underappreciated skill in the game. That thing, whatever that thing is that you want to call it, if you want to call it like composure under pressure, if you want to call it intelligence, you want to call it basketball intelligence, if you want to call it decision making, executive function. I mean, whatever. I call it something. That trait of being able to do the smart thing at the right time on a consistent basis is the most underappreciated skill in basketball. Because that will save you from a lot of trouble. And if somebody just had that, then that would have saved the Spurs from a complete embarrassment, at least, and could have potentially won them the game if they missed it. I mean, the Nuggets are not a great pressure team. They're feeling no one's shooting the ball particularly well. They're a little dicey out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey man, make some pressure free throws. See what happens.
We've seen this before. This is probably part of the reason why LeBron is out. Well, this is definitely the reason JR is out.
Well, I mean, that was the ultimate example of it right there.
All the time out.
Like, what are you? I mean, oh my God.
We take it for granted. And it's one thing to sit at home with relatively no pressure on you. By relatively, I mean none whatsoever. You're just watching the game. And so you're seeing this unfold and play out. Like, why aren't they doing this? Call the timeout. Get the foul. Do something. It's another thing to be in that moment thinking about all the other things that are going on around you. Can't let this guy get beaten. Gotta be in help. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. Gotta be ready. Wait, it's 5 seconds left. Why haven't we fouled? Go foul them. Like, it's hard, man. It is hard, and it's a skill that is learned, but you would think that not only LaMarcus Aldridge, but everybody on the court who's been playing basketball their whole lives at some point would look up at the clock, say, hey, somebody should have fouled by now.
You would have thought. You would have thought, but that's where we are.
Maybe some things, maybe it's, hey, I don't have to say this. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do in this situation.
I mean, they were saying it, though. They're screaming and yelling, going crazy. I don't. But now the Spurs are out. The Nuggets will play the Blazers tonight in game 1 of their series. That'll be the nightcap to game 2 between Toronto and Philly. And now the couple of Spurs assistants who are certainly on the radar, at least 2 of the Grizzlies, maybe the whole staff. But Becky Hammond, I think, is the one that is of most interest in as far as I'm concerned, in terms of where the Grizzlies might go. And now the Spurs are out, so let the games begin as to whether or not that will be where the Grizzlies go with this discussion point. I certainly think there is a distinct possibility that is the case. They also have Ime Udoka on their staff, who is very highly thought of. Torrey Messina, to me, does not fit the Grizzlies' mold of he's a very experienced and tremendous coach, but maybe he follows Pop. Pop, there's no guarantee Pop comes back next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he probably will, but you never know at his age and with what he's done and what he's gone through, and maybe he just says, I'm sick of it. That's entirely possible at this point. Messina is probably in line to take over for Pop, I would think. There are a couple other gigs that he could be looking at internationally, in addition to the Spurs assistant job. Yeah. He's 59. He's kind of got a little more of a hard-nosed style. I don't know if that's going to fit with what the Grizzlies are looking for right now. So that's why I don't really consider him in the mix, along with the same way with Becky Hammond or Ime Udoka on that Spurs staff. But now that those guys are out, this is where you can start to see some potential negotiation or discussion, and kind of keep an eye on it this week to see if there's any movement on that front. I don't know that the Grizzlies have a specific timetable, but you kind of need to start moving in that direction here, relatively soon. They may be waiting for the lottery to kind of see, it's possible, but I would think whatever coach you get shouldn't make a huge difference to them. It may make a huge difference to the coach as to how appealing this job is, but it shouldn't make a difference to them as far as what coach they want.
Why shouldn't it? Why shouldn't it? If there's a chance you can get number 1 overall pick, and that makes your job, that raises the profile of the franchise and raises the profile of the job. You can get instead of having to go out and getting the first time head coach, you can go out and get a veteran coach. Why wouldn't you wait?
Are you going to pay them? They've never paid him. They have yet to do it. I mean, again, that sounds fine in theory, but are you going to actually pay? That Robert Pera has yet to. Each coach basically has been paid successively less. I mean, you're going backwards rather than forwards in this case. So unless they're going to radically change the way they do things and open it up, and you want to talk to one of the Van Gundys, or you want to talk to a veteran assistant, like the Mike Browns of the world, or Messinas, or guys that are a little more higher profile and have a little more, going to cost a little more. Hey, that's cool if you're going to do that, but I'm working under the assumption they're not, because they haven't as an organization since Robert Pera arrived. They haven't. They've gone the other direction.
I'm gonna have faith in them.
Why?
No reason. That's faith though. There's no reason to have faith. That's what makes faith. I'm blindly faithorizing them right now. I think that they're going to say, or they have said, hey, you know what didn't work for us as a franchise? First time head coaches for whatever reason. You know what we need? We need a veteran head coach. So are we going to go out and get one? Let's see what happens with this draft pick. If it raises the profile of the job enough for us to go out there and get one of the Van Gundys, go out and get a Brown, go out and get one of these other veteran head coaches, we'll shell out the money.
And why would they come to the Grizzlies? Presumably, again, we don't really know because they've still kept it close to the vest. They presumably in something of a rebuild or reload phase right now, depending on what they do with Mike Conley. Is that appealing for a Van Gundy to come in and say, hey, let's,
if you got Jaren and let's say they get the number 1 overall draft pick, Zion,
there's
is that not appealing?
6% chance of that.
Well, you wait
7.
It's a chance,
which means there's a 93% chance that does not happen.
I don't know if you guys saw not in game Infinity War or not, but Dr. Strange said 14 million plus. He went and watched 14 million plus.
14 million and 3.
How many did they win? 1. You're telling me there's a chance? Let's ride this out and see what happens. And then once the chance has been decided on, once it's been decided on where you are in the draft, then you go out there and do it.
I mean, I don't care. Again, my point is that it shouldn't materially change the way the Grizzlies approach it. Not the way that the particular candidate approaches it. Definitely that would change the way they feel about the job. If you're potentially going to get Zion, that's better than getting whoever you would get with the 8th pick and on down the line. But it doesn't change the fundamental nature of what this job is. I mean, Zion he's still a rookie. He's a great rookie, but he's still a rookie. You still have a lot of other work that has to be done for this group. And to me, that doesn't change whether you bring in a new, old, young, whatever. Like, that's the same work. So from the Grizzlies standpoint, they need to identify what it is that they like to see, what they need, what are the traits they want in a head coach. And that particular person, whoever that may be, that won't change based on what happens in the lottery. That the traits they're looking for. They're looking for someone who is presumably, based on what someone has to be more analytically minded. The analytics were not kind to JB Bickerstaff in terms of his decision making and out of timeout stuff, things of that nature. Not good at all. So someone who is more in tune with that. Well, does that sound like Jeff Van Gundy? Not really. Not to me. Does that sound like an old school coach? Not really. Not to me. But you gotta go with what you know. So they need to make that identification and go after who they need to go after. And if they have to wait to find out, so be it. If that candidate who's their major candidate or 2 major candidates say, look, I want to wait till the lottery before I make a determination, then there's really nothing you can do. But to me, the identification of that person should not have any impact or should not be impacted by the lottery. Shouldn't, but this is on you to figure out who you want. In the same way the Spurs identify the type of player that they want to draft, irrespective of their spot in the draft. And then they go find a player that matches those profiles. And lo and behold, everyone's like, oh my God, they seem to find Derek White and these guys. Well, it's because they find guys that fit the mold of who they're looking for as closely as possible. And lo and behold, they fit because they've already scouted the type of person they want. Same thing here. You got to scout the type of person you want.
Okay. I just think if
as to whether that person wants to come, obviously that'll
the traits can be identified in a head coach, but there are experienced coaches who have those traits. There are inexperienced coaches who have some of those traits. And if you are the Grizzlies you should want an experienced coach with those traits. And if improving your draft stock helps you get one of those coaches who can add a bit of experience in addition to the traits that you're trying to identify, I think that's what you do. But it doesn't hurt anything to wait, does it?
No. I'm not saying you have to rush out or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine if you want to, but no. Just don't rush. But
take your time.
But you have to identify what you want, though. That they should already have done. Let's take a break, come back, and wrap up hour number 2 of the experience. We'll talk a little NFL draft and kind of the wrap up of where that went this weekend.
That happened.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that some, and we'll do that in hour number 2 and a little bit hour number 3 as well. We'll talk about kind of the whole thing, which was wild. I can do all that when we continue here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Where Memphis comes for real sports talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick. You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want. And of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial
There's
3.
no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Sponsored by Case Legal Media. Attention. This is an important message for anyone that has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers. The Internal Agency for Research on Cancer warned that overexposure to Roundup and other weed killers may increase the risk of developing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto, the manufacturer of Roundup, may have known that Roundup and other weed killers were likely linked to organ damage and cancer. This information was hidden from the public as proprietary trade secret since 1981, and Monsanto may have failed to warn of the potential risk of cancer. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call us now at 800-715-3913. Our network of attorneys are ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call now for a free consultation at 800-715-3913. You must protect your legal rights. Call 800-715-3913. Again, 800-715-3913.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infiniti of Memphis, and we've got a new Infiniti crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own. And only Infiniti has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Gotta get to the good part. Get that. You fast forward. Skip a little bit. I guess we can do this whole segment and then the good part will come in.
Cool. I don't mind talking over it. Just pull it down. I didn't get to the good part.
Welcome back to the experience. I am Peter. He is CJ. That's Max. That's Metallica.
Oh, is that who that is? Cool.
Metallica joining us on the program here.
Maybe we should get them on the show. Have them part of the experience.
Let's do that. Let's get them on the show. Why don't we do that? What are they up to these days?
Making T-shirts. I see all their concert tees all over Hot Topic.
Yeah. Get Lars. Lars seems like a real crotchety old man at this point. Let's get him on the show and talk to him about whatever else is going on. Now, turns out that nothing else matters to the people of Nashville because 600,000 people. According to the NFL. According to the NFL, now again, the NFL is known for, they might be fudging the numbers a little bit here, but there's no question there were, a jillion people there. 600,000 people attended the draft over the 3 days in Nashville.
Nobody cares about the draft. Why would they travel?
Well, the girls that were on their party thing.
Dead on impression.
Thank you.
They didn't have the bachelorette party. They didn't enjoy that at all.
Who cares about that?
That's all their fault, though.
They'll be okay.
You got to know about this stuff.
Yeah.
The NFL's a big thing. You probably heard about it. If you're one of those girls.
Not gonna let my husband watch the Super Bowl. Okay, he won't be your husband for long.
Who said that?
This is his chance to get out now.
One of the bachelorettes.
One of the bachelorettes said that?
So they decided, somebody in Nashville, one of the news outlets in Nashville, like, yo, we're gonna pick a bachelorette party and follow them around during the NFL draft weekend and show how big an inconvenience it is for these ladies who want to celebrate their bachelorette party. Want to have bachelorette party, celebrate this chick getting married. And one of the chicks, I don't know if it was the bachelorette or one of the bridesmaids, but she's like, yeah, my husband didn't tell me about this. So, you know what? He's not going to watch Super Bowl this year. That's exactly what she said. Just like that. That was her actual voice. No Super Bowl. He's not going to watch anything. Can't even say football in this house. At all. Because I'm putting my foot down.
I don't even know what to say anymore now.
I'm just
kind of distracted by something.
You have to go back and listen.
We'll talk about it.
We'll check the replay on that one.
That's what it is.
We'll have to go check the replay.
Okay. Exactly like this.
600,000 people apparently going to watch this, whatever this thing was. Now, you'll be shocked to note that Peter O'Reilly, the NFL's executive vice president for club business, said, by every metric, from the hundreds of thousands of fans who filled the streets of Nashville to the record-breaking ratings and viewership, this event was an unqualified success.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Next year's draft, you know where it's going to be?
Vegas, baby.
Oh, that's going to be. Are people going to come out to that? Like, are they going to just go to hang out in the casinos? Are we going to actually come out?
That is the beautiful thing about Nashville. Like, this was it. Like, this was the show. Pinned it in Vegas. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because there's so much to do in Vegas. What happened? What'd I do?
I'll tell you during the break.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this because you and Max are cackling something serious.
Like I said, we have to get to the replay on that one. Replay has confirmed.
We even have to use replay on the show.
Yeah, we do. We have to use replay on the.
What'd I say?
Don't worry about it.
No, I am worried about it.
I'll tell you.
I can't wait to get there.
So congratulations to Nashville. And again, let me offer my begrudging yet unqualified apology to Nashville.
What are you apologizing for?
For dogging them out.
Oh, don't dog them out.
About the draft.
Okay.
Because that was obviously a good thing for that city.
Yes.
Now, I will not apologize for my other hate of Nashville and any other, like knocking of Nashville's sellout status or soulless growth or pricing out the real people from what they do, handing out any and all property and land to people that come in from the outside and take away the real heart of whatever that city was all about. All that, I'm not going to apologize for any of that stuff.
Okay.
But I will apologize for doubting their ability to go out and watch people get picked. They did that.
This showcase of Nashville, put in the rotation for, I don't know, Super Bowl, college football playoff game, something like that.
I don't think so, but let's hope not. That's all I can say. I'm gonna hate. Let's hope not. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 3 on the way. Stick around right here on The Experience. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your home's main sewer line backing up, or do you have multiple fixtures in your home backing up? Ugh. The spring is a time of the year when many tree roots start growing and find their way right into your home sewer lines. Better call Conway Services for our $99 main drain opening special. With accessible cleanout, we'll open your home's main drain for only $99. And if it should clog again over the next year, we'll come out and open it again for free. Now, how's that for service? Conway Services is fully equipped with our state-of-the-art Rooter Vision camera system to handle all your sewer needs. Remember, call the Rooter experts at Conway Services for your $99 main drain opening special. That's $99 to open your home's main drain with an accessible cleanout. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511, your neighborhood Rooter experts.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
You always test the water, don't you? Whenever you get into the shower or the bathtub, you always make sure the water is not too hot so you don't get burnt. And the same thing is true if you're thinking of selling your home. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors, celebrating 150 years in business. Back to the hot water. When you or someone you know is thinking of selling, make sure and test the water. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to find out not only what they think about your house and the price, but what they will do for you. And make sure that I am one of them. I have an award-winning, highly successful strategic marketing program with a Shell Bucks option that can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Done. Between the internet marketing, our nationwide relocation business, and the Shell Bucks, you definitely need to call me. Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and don't get burnt.
Spring is here, so be sure to visit Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch to check out their new line of Carhartt jeans, pants, and shirts, as well as dress and work boots. Frontier has a special spring sale on Carhartt t-shirts to announce. Now through the end of the month, save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, and all sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. To make Frontier spring sale even sweeter, all Carhartt shorts are 25% off. There's select clearance styles of boots marked down too. Shop Ariat, Double H, Rocky, and more for incredible deals. And last, Frontier's sale on exotic boots like ostrich and alligator is extended until the end of the month. Save up to $50 on every pair in the store. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Millennium Paint and Body Works in Horn Lake is a full collision repair facility offering paint, body, frame, and mechanical services. They can also help you with towing, glass, and paintless dent removal services. Let's say you've been in an accident. Now what? If you are, they can help you get back on the road as soon as possible. And did you know that you, not your insurance company, has the right to choose your repair facility? Millennium Paint and Body Works in Horn Lake. Call 662-280-2022. Their certified technicians have over 150 years of experience, and they understand that you drive home their reputation.
Up your life with Lance.
Experience the difference of a Spartan mower. Spartan not only looks amazing on and off the lawn, it's packed with standard features like GT Track for precision traction, balance, and control, with optional features like radial front tires and an all-new 360 floating seat system for an incredibly comfortable ride. Lads, for your zero-turn and golf car needs.
Lance. Up your life with Lance. Lance. Up your life.
Duncan Williams presents Live at the Gardens 2019. This year's stupendous lineup is June 7th, Kansas. June 13th, the Doobie Brothers. August 2nd, Lionel Richie. August 31st, Toby Keith. And September 14th, Brett Young. All tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or at the Memphis Botanic Gardens box office while supplies last. For more information, visit liveatthegardens.com. Also presented by FedEx, True Green, Infinity of Memphis, Regions Bank, Radiance Pro Show, The Happy Tent, and PDR. Live at the Gardens 2019.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 and 87.7 FM anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook for information on breaking news, station events, big guests, and opportunities to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter today.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and WPGFLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Take a shot, make a friend, just enjoy the
Splish.
You got me afraid to talk. Even though replay confirmed.
You got me afraid to listen.
Replay confirmed that I'm good. I'm all right.
Welcome back to the experience. So I want to make this so clear.
I want to play that slow motion over air.
What we just did in the break, I wish upon all things we could do that during this segment. Oh, that was such good stuff. We could not. There's a potential profanity that we can't play, so I can't play.
It's not potential. There's no potential there at all.
Oh,
very clearly.
If replay concluded that it's not, and we still play it, is that considered profanity?
It's
not conclusive.
It is conclusive.
It was not conclusive.
Oh, get out of here.
No, it's not conclusive.
Get out of here.
Not at all.
Now I can't say that word.
Which word?
Chick. Well, we know the other word I can't say.
Yeah.
I can't say that word.
Is that what you
because
said?
my words, I slur my words. Sometimes they run together and like it. There is a thought that it may be profane.
We went to the replay.
It is not.
We went to the replay. We actually slowed it down. We went to the booth. We brought in an outside observer, our friend Nugget from Q1075, to just double check on this. So I think you're okay. You're in the clear for now. We'll see.
We'll see.
The replay was inconclusive.
Replay was not inconclusive.
We cannot confirm. The call in the field will stand.
And
the call in the field will stand.
And it happened in the last 2 minutes of the segment. So that's definitely, if that stands, I definitely get an apology.
Yeah, there's no apology. That's for sure. No apologies right there. So this is hour number 3. Beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. Right now, is it still? It appears beautiful from my vantage point. Max, can you confirm the beauty
outside.
of it?
It looks great.
The kind of day you want to go out there and mow the yard? Am I right?
Thanks for bringing it back up for me. Thanks. Now that's going to take a few hours for that to get done, plus all the extra things you have to do with mowing the yard.
What are the extra things?
I just cut my grass and then call it a day.
And then you got a weed eat around. You can't have weeds hanging around near the garden, near the house.
Oh, okay.
That's what you got the mower for. Mow those things over.
Well, not when it's against the house.
I got at the house I'm staying in currently, there's a nice flower bed, rose bush, and some other pretty little plants growing. Issue is dandelions are in there also. I'm going to have to invest in a weed eater, a weed whacker of some sort.
Yeah, you could just do some, depends on where they are in the bed. You could just do some spot weed control, use some Roundup type stuff.
See, I have no clue what you're talking about. Pesticides.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
it's not a
herbicide.
Yeah, it's herbicide, right? Yeah. It's specialized and all that. And it depends on, how close it is to the other plants, and you don't want to get. But so you could do that, or you could just weed it yourself.
Just pull it out by hand.
Pull it out by hand. Make sure you get the roots, and then kind of mulch and get. Yeah, you can. People do that stuff. They weed.
I've never done anything like that in my life. Only thing I've done is cut grass and try not to kill people while I'm cutting grass. Almost had a death experience cutting the grass one time. Damn near got me killed. Almost off my sister.
How does that happen?
So I got to cut grass and I'm lazy. I don't want to pick up the trash in the yard, but I have to go out and pick up the trash in the yard because I'm afraid of my father.
How much trash is in the yard?
Not a lot, but it's the act of walking around the yard and then walking to push a lawnmower. I'm very lazy. Want to do this as quickly as possible with as little work as possible. I want to get by as long as I want to do as little as possible for as long as I can. That's the way I roll. So in the yard, in the front yard, there's a baseball. So instead of picking the baseball up, walking it into the house, sitting the baseball down in the house, I pick the baseball up and I throw it to the backyard. All right. And my thought is, hey, I'm going to go to the backyard. And when I walk the backyard to pick the trash up after I cut the front yard, I'll see the baseball, pick the baseball back up, throw it over the house into the front yard. That is the game plan. So I cut the grass in the front yard. I go to the backyard, do the walkthrough in the back. I don't see the baseball. I think, well, it should be back here. It's not. I probably overthrew it. I probably threw it over the house and over the fence into my neighbor's yard. All is good. All is well and dandy. My sister is like 1.5, 2. And so she's at that age where she's really infatuated with 1 or 2 people. I'm one of those people, and she's curious to know what I'm doing. So we have a screen door, and she's standing at the screen door just facing the glass, watching me as I cut the grass. Guess what? The ball was in the backyard. I just didn't see it. I run over the ball with the mower. The ball comes flying out straight to the glass window, crushes the glass window. Thankfully, she was behind the screen door because that stopped the ball. It hits the glass window, glass shatters, ball drops, sister takes off running, my father takes off running. What the bleepity bleep just happened? And so I had to explain to this man how he almost lost a child that day.
Why'd you bleep that?
So yes, my father still talks about that to this day. And that's one of those things, one of those moments where as a father, he couldn't laugh because it was serious. But as I got older, he pulls me to the side and we talk about it from time to time. It's like, hey, I got to cut the grass. Hey, make sure ain't no baseballs back there, you dumb, or you so on and so forth. It's like, yeah, I got you, father. I got you.
Whew. So Max, watch the baseballs, okay?
Yeah, get the baseballs out the yard.
Or any other garbage. Pick all that garbage up first. I listen, I've messed up mowers, run over stuff. I've never nearly killed a child before, but other than that, I mean, we've all been there.
2 children almost died that day because if my sister had bit it, I wouldn't have made it.
No, there's no question.
No.
How old were you?
12, 11, somewhere between 11 and 12.
Okay. You know what? I'm thankful. I'm thankful it all worked out.
I am too.
Shout out to your sister.
Cree, what up?
Is she listening?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. She's down in Tuskegee. I hope she's in class. She had better be in class. Well, I have to
She
drive
still
down.
listen while she's in class?
She needs to focus.
Come on. Focus on us. That's right. You learn more from this show than you will from any college course.
Yeah, no. No, we're not doing that. Not doing that at all. We will not besmirch the integrity of the Great Tuskegee University.
Now, the Great Tuskegee University, your alma mater, your sister's current school where she is matriculating,
Lord willing,
did not. Well, I believe she still is. I don't think there's any Lord willing on that one. I mean, the Lord is willing, I'm sure, but that's neither here nor there. Did not, as I understand it, did not have any players drafted in the NFL draft this particular go.
Shocking. Shocked me.
Well, that would put them in the same company as Tennessee, who also did not have any players drafted in this go round.
Third time in the last 5 years, Tennessee hadn't had a player drafted. Am I getting that right? I think so.
It's just kind of pitiful, honestly. Like that's just pitiful. Like,
yeah, third time in the 5 years that the Vols hadn't had a player drafted.
A school of that import that you can manage to do that. It just goes to show again the craptastic last few years, the lack of talent, the Butch Jones experience, what that does to you as a school. Pitiful.
Other schools, Power 5, not have players drafted. Nebraska, Purdue, Virginia Tech, Kansas, Cal, Oregon State, Georgia Tech, Louisville. And Nebraska snapped like a 56-year streak of having at least one player drafted.
You know who had a player drafted is Washburn.
Oh, well.
Washburn had a player drafted, whatever that is.
That's you heard about that situation.
Old Dominion had a player drafted. Southeast Missouri State. Elon had a player drafted. Louisiana Monroe. Akron, players drafted. And not the likes of Tennessee or Nebraska. Again, it just tells you it's very easy. James Madison, Prairie View.
Yeah, baby.
Prairie View
A&M.
Yeah, that's right.
Panthers. Or the Rattlesnakes. They're one of those.
I think they're the Rattlers.
I'm pretty sure Prairie View A&M is the Panthers.
Okay. I thought
that's my lean.
The Rattlers, but that could be.
That's my lean.
Okay, let's just find out. All right, you want to bet on this?
No.
Oh,
no, I do not.
Okay. Prairie View A&M is the Panthers.
Okay, there we go.
Should have bet. Gotta have faith in what you do.
I have no faith in anything I do.
Did you have a particular team or teams that stood out to you, CJ, in your mental mind as the best of the bunch? The drafts that you particularly, when all was said and done, when you looked through them and you graded each and every draft pick, as I know you did, you said, hey, let me look at every single draft class. What you got? Who stood out to you? Who is the yay and who is the nay? Because we all know that drafts should be judged the day after they're drafted, and that's it. And that should be it. You should not wait till they actually play.
Did Rhodes get a player drafted? Texas, that in 67129 first main text lines. I don't have any particular team that stands out as a winner or loser. I don't watch the draft. I don't consume those types of things that way. I do have some, like, oh, that's interesting. Some teams who made some interesting picks. One chief among them, the Rams with Henderson, with Darrell Henderson. It's like, got Gurley. What's Henderson going to come in there and do? How serious is this arthroscopic knee? And if everything's fine with Gurley, like, that backfield is juiced now. That backfield is like when D'Angelo and Jonathan Stewart were in their prime, in their heyday. That is like what we see now, or what we saw with Ingram and Mark, not Henry. Ingram and Kamara. Yeah. There we go. I almost said Mark Henry. With those,
world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
I thought he was running in the backfield.
I gotta be hell of a fullback.
But yeah, that is amazing. And when you give somebody like McVay another wrinkle to put into that offense, it's going to be real tough for teams to overcome them and to knock them off their perch as the best team in the NFC.
Well, I certainly think that the whole fit is perfect for Darrell Henderson. I mean, I think that you can look at the offense that they run, what McVay and Sean McVay and the Rams, the stuff that they do is going to be very familiar to Darrell Henderson and his style, in getting in space, operating in space, that stuff should be very straightforward, and he could easily jump in and immediately make an impact. It's a perfect fit for him. So kudos to them for that. I think that's a smart play. They moved up to get him. They obviously targeted him. They like the guy. So I think that's a big bonus. It's all about fit, as we talked about before. I mean, you've got to find the right team and the right fit in order to maximize what you do. So we'll see if that plays out in that way. I do think it was interesting also to point out the Dolphins trading for Josh Rosen. And look at what happened. This is why the Cardinals, I think their draft was fine. I mean, I get, Kyler Murray and the whole thing, as a draft, it was no problem. Got no issue with who they took. But the way they did it, to me, you found a way to minimize what you had, your assets, what you were all about. You had to know, you've known for, I would assume, for a long time that you were going to take Kyler Murray. You then would know that there's no way you could take Kyler Murray and realistically keep Josh Rosen. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? So why wouldn't you trade Josh Rosen prior to drafting Kyler Murray? It doesn't add up. And so obviously they didn't. Well, other teams started filling their needs at quarterback. And couple that with the fact that teams knew that you had to trade Josh Rosen now. You couldn't keep him. That meant the market for him was severely diminished to the point where the Dolphins got him for a number 62 overall pick, late second rounder.
Yep.
The Dolphins traded down. They had the 48 and they traded down and ended up with a 62 and other stuff. They traded that 62 and a fifth rounder next year for the guy that went number 10 overall last year. Theoretically, a quarterback that's better than some of these guys that were drafted. Maybe Kyler Murray, maybe Drew Lock, maybe Dwayne Haskins, maybe it could be better than all of them. I don't know. He's very young still, so who can say? I mean, I think it's a great move for the Dolphins, but I think it just that's stunning to me that you can get rid of a theoretically franchise guy a year ago you thought was potentially your franchise guy for nothing. I mean, pennies on the dollar. What? That's pitiful. A second and a fifth for like a young quarterback? Huh?
You could have gotten so much more for him.
It's crazy.
So much more.
Crazy. I'm fired up over here. Throwing things around.
That one stood out also for me. And just Rosen's message after the trade went down, telling everybody thank you, a real classy move, telling Cardinals fans and thanking everybody for the opportunity. Better than me.
Fake.
He did it, though.
Mad.
He still did it. He did it. He's better than me. Because if that happens to me, I'm not thanking anybody. I am cursing everybody, giving everybody the finger on my way to the airport to be in Miami. I don't want to be in your stinky city anyway. I'm going to
Where
Miami.
would you rather be in? Phoenix
Miami.
or Miami? Exactly. Miami.
Miami.
He's happy.
He's fine.
Are you happy, Max, with where your Rebels ended up?
Yeah, I was surprised DK was the last pick though in the second round. I thought he went a little bit higher than that, but I'm kind of worried about AJ with the Titans. I mean, is Mariota going to be the guy throwing him the ball, or can he get him the ball? I don't know. It could be Tannehill too.
Yes, it could be. They need some help for him, and he's in a contract year, Mariota. So
and I think DK fits good with the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson's one of the best deep throwers in the league.
Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like what voice is DK getting from Russell?
Hey, DK, welcome to the team. Nice to see you. Time to go to sleep. Come over to CC's barbershop. She'll get you lined up. I mean, it's
like what? No, for real.
For real. That's the voice.
Because he seems he puts it on.
Gangster Russ is going to be in the house.
But Greg Little was the first Rebel taken, surprisingly.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise.
DK showing up to a job interview just shirtless,
I love
a
that.
job acceptance shirtless.
I love that was the video that was awesome. If you saw it on the Seahawks Twitter page and on their social media, they released DK's interview with Pete Carroll and
the whole
coaching
team.
staff and the front office, and he comes in shirtless, wearing a big chain and all that, and just smiling. Everyone got it, and Carroll responds by ripping his shirt off.
Yes,
because That's what you do.
And look to the camera like, hey, pit that
Right,
up.
that's right,
Make sure
that's
you
right.
get this.
Yeah, get
Pit it up.
Which, you know what? Hey, Pete looks good.
Hey.
Pete looks good for his age. He doesn't look like DK, but only a few of us do.
We forget Pete is old as dirt almost. Pete close to 70?
I don't think Pete Carroll's that old.
Yeah, like
he is that.
Pete
He is
Carroll
about that
is
age. He's
old,
close.
old.
He don't look like it though.
67?
Is that not close to 70?
That's closer than 66. I mean, I'll give you that. He looks great for 67.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yes, he does.
He'd look great for 57.
He looks great for 31.
Yeah, it's not going
Oh,
that
if you look
far.
like that at 31,
Yeah, he
might be a little bit of trouble.
67. He looks good for man. I'm saying.
See?
Yeah. No, you're right. How about Tony Pollard, 4th round to the Cowboys? Does that do anything for you?
Yes, it does. The matchups.
It does.
Yeah, very much so. Because Pollard is.
Congratulations, by the way, to the Cowboys for also picking Michael Jackson,
Jackson.
and Joe Jackson.
Thought they were going to get Tito in the next round. Tito was available.
Tito
was available. And just on premise alone, they should have drafted the Tito kid. Just like, hey,
was there a Jermaine available? Can we get Jermaine?
I don't think Jermaine was available this year. You can go get Jermaine next year, though.
Got to get Jermaine.
I think they picked Pollard. I think there was a stat that the Cowboys haven't had a kick return for a touchdown since 2008.
Yeah. I mean,
and Pollard had what, 7?
Yeah,
in
I
his
mean
career?
that's what he does.
Here's what I like about Pollard. You can line him up in the backfield. Defense is like, okay, that's running back. We're going to play our regular defense, whatever 3-4-4-3, what have you. But you can then send him in motion. And Pollard's a pretty good guy out of the slot also. And so now you've created that mismatch, almost like a Darren Sproles, if you will. Some of the things he's able to do. And so you pair him with Zeke in the backfield, like, yeah, they're offensively, that got some things to play with.
I was kind of wondering if the Chiefs are going to take him just because he kind of fits that Tyreek Hill role.
Well, somebody's going to need to fit the Tyreek Hill role that's not Tyreek Hill because he's not going to be fitting any role, hopefully. That the NFL is thinking about putting him on the exempt list, which is usually what they do in the regular season, which keeps you from being able to be part of the team. But since it's the off season, they usually don't do that. But in this case, they may make an exception to try to, I think they're going to have to force the Chiefs' hand at this point. Like, I mean, yeah, the Chiefs say they're going to conduct their own independent investigation, which I look forward to figuring out how that goes.
I can't wait for them.
Hit me up when that thing is done.
I can't wait for them to mess this up.
This is not, again, we talked about on Friday. Like, this may be a sad decision to release this guy. This may be a financially difficult decision. It is not a hard decision at all. Like, there's only one thing to do here. You cannot employ this guy. You just can't. Given his, and I mean, especially now with the Chiefs' acquisition of Frank Clark over the weekend in that trade with Seattle, knowing his track record with the domestic violence situations, throw in Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs have an issue with this. They appear to have a lot more leniency in this department. And this is one of the criticisms of Andy Reid. He said that the folks say that he allows a culture that's fairly unchecked and just kind of lets people do what they need to do and whatever, and he's cool with it and just go, as long as you come out here and play, then I'm really not going to pay much attention to what you do. And that it's crazy to me. I don't know if that's what leads to this, but it's bad. And like, he should already have been released. Like, what are you? What do
you know what they're waiting on?
Oh,
They're waiting on this. If I have to spell it out for people, they're waiting on this to die down and to see what they can get away with from a perception standpoint. That is all it is. That is what they are waiting on. Can we keep him on this team? If we cut him, can we keep him in this league on somebody else's team? Because he's explosive. He's exciting. We can pit him in some Monday Night Football graphics. We can pit him in the Sunday night game graphics, walking next to whoever the hell it is, singing the Sunday night intro, and people will get worked up to see him. So let's see if we can stall this. Let's see if we can delay the inevitable. If it is even inevitable, will people forget about this? They'll probably forget. He was found not guilty. They'll forget. So let's see how long it'll take them to forget. Let's revisit this in August, and let's see if they have forgotten by then. when fantasy football drafts are coming up. And you got to get a receiver because you need a damn playmaker on your team.
I don't know who you're
That is what you need. You need a playmaker on the team.
You're rocking your shoulders back.
So let's see. He'll get you a lot of fantasy points. Let's see if you'll really care about this. That's what they're waiting on.
I should laugh. I'm not trying to make light of that, but I wonder who is this in person? Who is that impression of?
I don't know.
You really got into it. I just don't know who it is. I'm excited about it.
I don't either.
I don't know who this character is that you're going Johnny NFL over here.
That is who it is.
You gotta do
Johnny
this,
NFL.
and then I think he's gonna be on the thing, and then I kind of going back. I like. All right, okay. I like this guy. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 3 continues here on The Experience. Real Sports Talk Sports 5687.7 FM.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Sleepy Easy Mattresses by Michael Zellner is the winner of the Memphis Most Best Mattress Store for 4 straight years. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and Sleepy Easy's is the mattress store where you can save 50 to 80% off retail store prices every day of the week. They carry Serta and several other brands and have hundreds of mattresses to choose from. Go there today and mention Sports 56. You'll get an extra 10% off any mattress or furniture. Call Michael directly at 901-359-1040. It's Sleepy Easy's, located at 2790 Kirby Winton Road.
If you're looking for a new place to watch your favorite team or date night or guys or girls night out, check out Interim Restaurant and Bar. You know, on the corner of Mendenhall and Sanderland, my favorite bar food was the deconstructed lamb shank tamale. The Interim Burger, they melt in your mouth and the fries are incredible. The Oyster Po' Boy, the short rib Philly, they have very generous portions. And get the John Harden hookup. Say my name, John Harden, Sports 56, and get 20% off bar food, 20% off premium well liquor, wine, and beer. Happy hour, 4 to 6, Monday through Thursday. See you at Interim 5040 Sanderland.
When you feel heartburn up in your throat, you'll do anything for fast relief. You might chug milk directly from the source.
Okay, girl. Easy.
You might slurp down an entire slushie in a single breath.
Oh, that didn't help.
Don't try just anything. Try new Rolaids Heartburn Soothers, the only antacid that melts to leave a cooling sensation while it starts working as fast as now to relieve heartburn.
Oh, that's better.
Soothe the burn with new Rolaids Heartburn Soothers. Use as directed.
Are your carpets filled with memories, as well as stains, odors, and a few other things? The Home Depot makes replacing that carpet easy, with more styles and colors to choose from, and free installation by licensed local professionals backed for life. Today is the day for doing, with free carpet installation done right. Guaranteed. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. $699 minimum purchase required. For license information, visit homedepot.com/license numbers.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone need to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I don't know if a lot of you are like me this morning. Those of you that watched Game of Thrones last night, the Battle of Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
I got furious texts coming in, breaking down the battle, some of the tactics.
Oh,
some poor planning, I think, really on the part of our intrepid heroes. I mean, why not send the dragons out first?
That would make sense. If you got them, use them.
You know, again, I'm not gonna spoil what happened, but like, you know, you get this army of the undead coming on you, right?
Yes.
Many thousands, just snarling undead beasts. You have 2 dragons that can fly and shoot fire. Why not just have them fly out over the people that are hordes of undead beasts and just shoot fire on them to at least kind of, thin out the ranks a little bit before we have this battle.
Yeah.
Why are we, why don't we do that? That seems like a good idea.
They didn't have the plan. They didn't have a plan.
What this? I mean, that seems like a real like that's just 101. Let's get to the coaching style. Let's get down to we don't need the analytics to break this down. Like dragon, fly, fire. These are all important things you can do.
If it was me, having not seen the battle, not real familiar with any of the different species that are fighting, my thought would be this
species
right
are human, dragon,
direwolf,
and one direwolf, which we weirdly see like once, and then like undead.
No zombie polar bear.
No.
Okay, so here's what I would do: an undead polar bear, whatever you guys call it. My game plan would be, hey, we're going straight to the middle.
Okay.
And we're going to separate them. Bow. And then we will use the dragons on...
Who's going in the middle?
My military, my army. I'm going to send them to the middle, and then we're going to try and flank them from behind with the dragon.
There's so many, you can't flank them. You can't flank them.
You can always flank, Peter.
No, you can't.
Always flank.
There's like...
send them to the middle, separate,
the middle,
hold.
Like the entire thing, it's like a vast circle of there's no middle. Like
you find the middle, make a middle point.
This is why you're not a very good battle
commander. Whatever. Give me the dragon.
Here's what would happen.
Give me the dragon.
You'd run in the middle, and then they would just collapse on you, and they'd all.
But by then,
which is basically what happened at the beginning.
By then, the dragons are behind, and
the dragons can fly.
But that's
just fly over. What do you mean behind?
Get them behind flying.
Get them behind. Why?
Get them behind flying.
They can just fly around. They can just.
This is squad leader CJ.
Right.
You just fly around.
Right. The throne is mine. Damn it.
You would be. You would have become part of the army of the undead within moments of this battle.
Doubt it very seriously.
I mean, this is a somehow
gotta use the pincer technique.
I gotta say, I give you credit. This is a worse plan than they planned. And their plan was pretty bad, and your plan is worse. So I guess you know what? You've actually made me feel better about them. This is they could have come up with CJ's plan, which is even worse somehow. So
I don't know why you think that's bad. You got to flank Peter. You got to flank people, Peter. Got to get to the edges. We see the edges all the time being one of the most important things.
Why
in
don't you
battle.
get on the edges then?
We are getting on the
middle.
edges.
Why are you going to the middle?
We got to separate them before we get to the edges, though.
What?
Yes.
If the edges are so important, why don't you go to the edges first?
Because.
And then squish them in the middle, and then you've got them in one place. Then you can send the dragons. Boom, there you go.
No. We're going to the middle, and then we're going to separate them like that and get two smaller units, and then bow. Then we've got them from behind, and then we flank them from the outside.
What? No.
What are you talking about? That's why.
Now you've split your own. You've split your own limit. You've split your own limited
why
army into like two.
I am
smaller,
the ruler.
You split your own army.
I run
smaller.
Westeros.
So you understand you have a much smaller number of people than they do. So how?
I didn't know we had them.
Yes.
I didn't know I was operating at a disadvantage. Hold on. Now let me think.
This is why. What I've been trying to tell you. There are so many of these.
I thought I had a horde too. I thought I had an army also.
You don't have as many.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought we were one-on-one.
This is what I'm talking about. We're definitely not one-on-one. That's what I'm talking about. Your techniques just
nobody.
Terrible.
Didn't tell me that.
Terrible.
Didn't tell me that.
Terrible coach. Ugh.
I didn't know I was playing 9 on 11. Nobody told me that. I thought we was
no. Oh, you're at a massive disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah. And you've planned very poorly. So you would have already been destroyed.
Now I've got a new plan.
It's too late.
No, it's
Unfortunately,
not.
you've already been destroyed.
I didn't know. You guys didn't tell me the rules of
this.
this.
You only get one crack at this, buddy.
Whatever.
This is a fight. You're fighting against death itself. You only get one shot at it. This is the ultimate zero-sum game. You lose. There's no. Terrible plan. Really, one of the worst.
I didn't know everything. I should have asked.
Again, this is why you should ask and ask these questions.
Gotta know
this is why you're not a very good commander.
Got to know yourself and know your enemy.
Yeah.
If you know.
You knew neither.
I didn't. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, you'll lose. If you know the enemy, but not yourself,
you'll
lose.
Did you say you read Art of War like once a year?
I just quoted you something from the Art of War.
You need to read it again.
I do.
I'd read it tonight.
Before bed.
Before bed. Because
I didn't even ask what the layout was. I don't know what
Sun Tzu is rolling over in his grave right now.
So hot.
And he may have become part of the army of the Night King may have got him out of there. He may come personally to you and be like, "Come on, CJ, I'm doing this for a reason. You know that." He may be the one. Just, you know, should have listened to me. That's what he'll say.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
I like a do-over, but whatever.
Yeah, too late.
You guys misled me on purpose.
You misled yourself. You, for some reason, I don't know where that came from. Absolutely, like crazy stuff from last night, and we talked a little bit about it in the first hour. The Warriors knocking off the Rockets 104-100. All the discussion has been about the officiating rather than the game itself, which is not, I think, where the NBA wants to be, but that is where the NBA is at this point. Texters at 67129 throughout the course of the show have said it's very simple. You call the foul on the player that initiates the contact. Well, I mean that is one way to look at it. Was James Harden when he kicks his leg out, or when he sort of leaps and lands at like a 30-degree angle to the ground, where there's really no realistic way he could land without falling? Does that then make whatever contact he makes, is that a foul? Would you call an offensive foul on that? I don't know that you could, but I would say if the guy takes a shot and he cannot realistically land without falling, which seems to be the case with some of these James Harden threes, then shut up. Like I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. Mm-hmm. This is not the play in the national championship, not the semifinal where my man jumps up and is coming up and straight down, and the dude just runs into him. Like that's pretty obvious that was a foul. Like I hated that it was a foul at that moment. That really sucked, and they didn't get the double dribble and all the whole thing. I mean, I don't want to go back into that, but at that particular thing was definitely a foul for sure. So you got to call it. This was not that. If you don't allow someone to close out, and if you allow James Harden to create a wider radius around himself of protected zone so that he can land, you can't contest any shot. At that point, it becomes an uncontestable shot. He's already good enough as it is. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it. I don't like either one of these teams at this point. But I'm with the Warriors for the most part on this thing, and I wish the Rockets, they're too busy cooking up excuses and cooking up grievances rather than cooking up strategies. Just win the game. Just go out and win. Play better.
If this is how the game has been called all year, why does it change now? Why does it change when it's Golden State in the playoffs? Rudy Gobert pointed this out, and others have pointed it out as well. Like, listen, you didn't let us close out that way on James Harden. We couldn't get that close to James Harden and make him uncomfortable. We couldn't get in his space that way. Why is Golden State allowed to do this? And this is where it begins to spiral for the NBA. Because not only is Houston complaining about not getting calls that it was accustomed to getting, but other teams in the NBA who have faced Houston are also complaining about not getting a chance to defend that way. And it makes it look like, in a league that is full of conspiracy theorists, it makes it look like, hey, we want Golden State to win. We want Houston to play Golden State. And then two, when they play, we want Golden State to win if you're the NBA. And the NBA has got to find a way of handling this before it gets completely out of control and overblown. And it is, the whole thing is rigged, because it's already rigged against your favorite team, whoever your favorite team is. Now there is evidence, you pointed to it with the 2-minute report and other things. There's evidence of this now. And so now the conspiracy theorists, instead of sounding like crazy people, which sometimes they are, can say, no, I'm not crazy. Here's the evidence right here.
But again, evidence is a lot of times subjective. I mean, yes. If you want to find a conspiracy theory, you can find one. It's very reminiscent of what happens, in the political world. There's plenty of conspiracy theories. People can, if you want to retroactively fit a conspiracy into something that happened, you can probably find a connection. Somebody went to school with somebody else, and somebody did this, and you can find one. There's enough connections in the world that's probably going to be possible. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's right, but is it a better use of your time as a team and as an organization to let that stuff fester and to add it up the way that the Rockets did. Sam Amick of The Athletic reported yesterday that the Rockets took all the reports, because the NBA has the 2-minute report is what they release to the public in the close games. But they have that data for every call of every game.
Mm-hmm.
They will give it to the teams, individual teams, for their games, not for all teams in all games, but for your team, you can get your own reports from those games. Well, the Rockets took that, and by their own estimation, last year's playoff series, they were docked 93 points in what the referees considered bad calls, missed calls.
Not just 2 minutes, but the entire
games. Over the course of the entire, in 6 of the 7
series.
games,
Okay.
they were on the wrong end of it. Game 2, they had like a slight advantage, but the other games they were on the wrong end of the calls for 6 of the 7 games, including when they missed 27 straight threes in Game 7. 2 of those were incorrectly ruled. They should have been fouls, according to that. Okay, that sucks. Like you feel like you're aggrieved, but is it a better use of your time to focus on that? Because if that's your contention that the referees are, what is the actual point? Like, what are you saying? Are you saying that the league is biased against Houston?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're saying? Like, I want to know what's the ultimate,
series.
what's the end of what's the end game? Like, what are we accusing the officials of? Are we accusing the officials of being actively malicious and trying to make the Warriors win? Are we accusing them of just being incompetent and unable to spot a foul, particularly when it comes to the Warriors? What is the specific charge? I'm sick of the insinuation that's out there of like, oh, look at that, I just wanted to be called. What are you, if you are saying there is a conspiracy, say it.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a grown-up and put the case out there. You're going to get fined. You're already going to get fined anyway. Daryl Morey's already put all kinds of insinuations out there. Don't be passive-aggressive. Say it. You think there's a conspiracy? Say it. There's probably a lot of people that would agree with you. Put it out there. The way that the NBA in 2002, the Kings were screwed out of their Game 7 against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Ridiculous. Put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But don't give me this back and like what. Tell me what you're accusing the league of so I can judge it on that, because I don't know what they're. Are they just saying they're just incompetent, or are they actively saying there's a conspiracy to get the Warriors into the finals again? Like what would be the point of that?
They are trying to get a leg up. That is what they're trying to do, and they're trying to get that leg up without having to pay any money in fines.
That ain't gonna happen.
They're not.
That ain't gonna happen.
They are trying to walk that line as best they can. But again, like you're saying, say it. Don't leave anything to the imagination. Don't leave it up for us to try and figure out or interpret what you mean or what you're saying by, hey, you cost us 93 points. Well, did that cost? Are you saying that because you didn't?
But they're not saying that. Like they're leaking that to like like Sam Amick or whoever. Like they're letting that say it. I mean, if you think the league is
costing you games,
if you think you're being like
speak out.
Yeah, I mean, then let's have this as a real battle rather than just this, because that's bad for it's bad for the league anyway, and it would be bad for the league if you have a team that comes out and actively says there's a conspiracy. But at least then you could litigate whatever it is on the merits, right or wrong, rather than this like vague insinuation that's been going on for decades about what the league really wants, and the cabal of secret people, and Adam Silver up in his office with a crystal ball,
or David
Stern back in the day, all this stuff. Like everyone's like sending all that. You just feed into all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Just either let's just get it out in the open and talk about it on the merits, or not. Then shut up about it. What I'm sick of this. Sick of this stuff because it's a distraction that is pointless and ultimately negative for pretty much everybody involved. Let's take a break and then we'll come back. Bill's on the other side. We can get your phone call. Want to make sure that we hit this break first though. And if you have a comment you want to throw in there as well, along with Bill, you can do that 360-8255 on the First Bank phone lines as well. We'll come back with that and more as we wrap up this edition of The Experience, live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Check out Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time, weekdays from 3 till 6 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. You've heard me talking about insurance roof claims and what you should do and what you should not do. But there are thousands of roofs in Memphis that don't qualify for an insurance claim but are in need of replacement. The problem is this. How many of us really plan to replace our roof? Most of us don't even think about our roof until it starts leaking. Then suddenly, you're faced with an expense of thousands of dollars that is not in the budget. Well, we have an answer. We can provide a top quality new roof for an average home for about $100 a month with no money down. Yes, there's an approval process, but you might be surprised at how easy it is. If you need a roof and need a reasonable payment plan, give us a call. 5 Roofing, the home of the $100 roof. Fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I love everything about being here at Sweetgrass. I love the laid-back atmosphere. I love the friendly professional staff. I love the really great food by real chefs, from the small plates to the tapas to the original dishes added to the menu all the time. I love the specialty cocktails you can't get in any other bar because they were created just for Sweetgrass. Honestly, Sweetgrass is always my first choice for a quick drink or a leisurely, wonderful meal with friends or that special someone.
Who are you talking to?
No one. My fiance's out of town. When we're here, we always talk about how much we love Sweetgrass. I'll just have a Manhattan and a menu.
Hey, everybody. If I said who wants a hot new Silverado right now, how many hands are going up? And if your hand's up, you need to be where I am right now, the Chevy testing ground for Silverados and all Chevys right here at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. And it just so happens to be Chevy Truck Month right now. So get your butt down here and check out all the deals like financing at 0 for 72. Most have cash back for you. And they have the best testing ground in the Mid-South. Drive them on highways, on back roads, so you know what you want. Don't believe me? It's cool. Ask Zach Myers of Shinedown. That's right. Shinedown's Zach Myers is loving life in his All-Star Chevy, and you can meet him too. Test drive any All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch by April 30th, and you could register to win tickets to be up close and personal backstage with a meet and greet with Zach Myers and Shinedown at Music Fest May 3rd. Just tell them Zach Myers sent you for your chance to win tickets to be up close and personal with Shinedown May 3rd at Music Fest. So don't waste your time. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Duncan Williams presents Live at the Gardens 2019. This year's stupendous lineup is June 7th, Kansas. June 13th, the Doobie Brothers. August 2nd, Lionel Richie. August 31st, Toby Keith. And September 14th, Brett Young. All tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or at the Memphis Botanic Gardens box office while supplies last. For more information, visit liveatthegardens.com. Also presented by FedEx, True Green, Infinity of Memphis, Regions Bank, Radiance Pro Show, Mahaffey Tent, and PDR. Live at the Gardens 2019.
The Can-Am Spring Fever event is on now with our family of off-road vehicles that are built for this. We're built for seeing the sunrise and for days lasting past sunset. We're built for trails, tasks, and tough times. And we're built to move you through what won't move. So how do you become built for this? By getting to the Spring Fever event at Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and finding a brand new Can-Am off-road vehicle for a $3,000 rebate on select 2018 models for a limited time. Certain restrictions apply, subject to credit approval. See your dealer for details.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I think CJ's just going to stand up the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you going to... You standing here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get our friends over at Acura Memphis can get you a nice little car to sit in.
To sit in?
You don't have to stand up this whole time.
I like to stand.
I don't think so, because you have to keep holding that mic and it's making weird noises and
it's good.
No, I don't think so. Our friends at Acura Memphis, they can help you out. Whatever you need, you will sit in a beautiful automobile.
Yes.
Whether it's new or one of those certified pre-owns, which you can only get over at Acura Memphis, you will get the finest. We're talking finest in luxury, finest in quality, finest in security, finest in safety, finest in service. It's all there for you over at Acura of Memphis. It's why folks have made Acura of Memphis such a popular choice for 30 plus years in this market. It's why families go back again and again. Dad buys a car, mom buys a car. Everyone sticks with it because the service is great. People are great. You love dealing with them over at Acura of Memphis. Find out more online at AcuraMemphis.com. You can check out all the inventory. You can also start to make your selection because it makes it very easy. At that point, they can do a little sliders. They can tell you, okay, what's your budget? What are you looking for? What kind of thing? They make it super easy for you. They don't have to do a big hard sell because the automobiles, they sell themselves. It's really awesome. Check it out online, AcuraMemphis.com. So we're talking NBA playoffs, and as promised, go to the phone lines at 360-8255, the First Bank phone lines. And Bill is there. Thank you for holding on. Bill, how are you?
What's up, guys?
What up, Bill?
What's happening?
I gotta agree 100% with CJ. I mean, when I didn't even watch the game. I was busy doing other stuff, and I heard they were complaining about calls, and I was like, yeah, whatever. The Rockets are always complaining about something. Then I saw the play, and I didn't know what happened. I saw the play, and I was like, yeah, there's Harden again getting a foul. Then I realized they didn't call out a foul, and I'm like, I've seen the Grizzlies defensively jump straight up and Harden basically kick into them and get called for fouls. This time Curry literally jumped towards Harden. There's no way that's never a call, a foul. Any game I've ever seen Houston play, and they don't call it a foul this time? Come on, that's ridiculous. And, I mean, I agree. Everyone should be saying, we don't care. I don't care who wins. But you know what? Call it like it's always called against everybody else. Now, all of a sudden, a little short guy like Steph Curry, why is he even trying to block James Harden's shot in the first place? To me, is like,
what's he not supposed to try to block the guy's shot? He's supposed to stand there? Come on, Bill. He can try to block the guy's shot.
What is James Harden affecting his shot? I mean, Curry's not affecting his shot.
He might.
I don't know. 5'3". How tall is he?
I saw Earl Watson block Yao Ming one time. So I mean that
was a dream you had. But
no, look it up.
The reality is this, and it's been proven time and time again. Everybody tries to deny it and say it's not, and that's the one thing that more replay has shown. Things are a little bit more suspicious than what the referees are so-called seeing it. And I'm literally watching an analyst trying to tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. He's trying to say Harden flies into Curry. When you see Curry literally jump from inside the three-point line and land outside the three-point line and make contact, and I've seen the Grizzlies forever get screwed on calls where Harden has kicked guys going straight up, and it is absurd that they didn't make that call. I don't care who wins. I don't care who wins. Boston or Milwaukee's going to win championship either way. So I just think it's ridiculous and it's so obvious. And
so are you saying the NBA is trying to get Golden State into the finals?
Dude, I say the NBA. I've told you all this forever. The NBA, it is not coincidence when things happen. It's just like Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks. Give me a break. Just like Zion. What do you think, Zion? You want to put money on where Zion's going this year? If he doesn't get the Knicks don't get the number one pick, I will be literally in shock. I will be in shock.
Someone go over to Bill's house on May 14th.
Yeah, do it. I just pat me on the back and say, Bill, I can't believe you got it right again. I hate to admit it. All right, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
See, this is where it falls apart for me. Okay. If the NBA were truly in this conspiratorial frame of mind, why would the Lakers and the Knicks be so horrible? And why would they have been so horrible for so long? The three biggest markets in the country are New York, LA, Chicago. The teams are the Knicks, trash, Lakers, trash, Clippers, okay, fine, whatever, but they're not the primo team, right? Knicks, trash, Lakers, trash, Bulls, trash. If the NBA is a conspiracy theory league, they're doing a terrible, terrible job of conspiratorially making themselves a good business.
Well, that could be it, or hear me out. Those front offices are so incompetent that the league can't give them enough without making it look obvious.
If there was really a conspiracy, though, they would have the front offices removed somehow. they would find some way to get competent people into those front offices and better owners or whatever. Like, how far do you think this conspiracy goes?
To the top, Peter. All the way to the top.
Is this like Enemy of the State? Is like Gene Hackman? Like we in this like the tinfoil like rooms and all this where we got to get a clean room away from the internet. No, nothing can touch it.
Yes.
Before we can talk NBA.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? Like, come on. I this is where it falls apart. Like, again, if the league allowed in their quote unquote conspiracy Cleveland to win the lottery 2 years in a row without LeBron, like they did, LeBron wasn't even part of that team. Like, why?
They knew. They're like, we're gonna get LeBron back to Cleveland.
Why is Phoenix continuing to like? Why did Phoenix win? Like,
nobody cares about Phoenix.
But I'm saying, why in the conspiracy? Why did that? If this was all a big conspiracy, why did the Knicks win last year? Why did the Knicks end up with bad draft picks? Why? It falls apart. The whole thing falls apart when you actually think about it.
Give me a second. Give me a day. You can't ask me this at the end of the show and expect me to explain it to you, Peter. Give me a day to think about it.
I mean, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I just wanted. This is why I always say, like, everyone makes these sort of the NBA that, like, that's Bill's call was a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Same thing with the Rockets say. Okay, so if you're saying that the NBA is not calling those fouls now that they called earlier in the year, And they're doing so intentionally. The referees are instructed by the NBA, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the contention? Why? To what end? Is it materially that much better for the league to have Golden State win? Does that really, is that going to, the ratings aren't, people, if anything, are ready for something new. Is that, James Harden is as big a star as almost anybody. If you're just talking about a star league, Chris Paul is a very well-known name. Houston is a very big market. What? Huh? Yeah? What? What are we doing?
Golden State needs that money to put into their new stadium, though.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They're great.
No.
They got plenty of money.
No, they need more of it.
They don't, because they've gotten these.
And the value of Golden State goes up, causing the values of everybody else to go up.
Again, that would be
Peter,
better.
I just explained it to you.
You did not.
I did.
Your explanation makes no sense.
Peter, full disrespect, I explained it to you all the way. 1,000%. You're just refusing to accept it.
On that bizarre note, we will say goodbye. We got to think more about these conspiracy theories. Let's figure out what's really going on here. I am unsatisfied by that explanation. You should have sent the Dragons out first.
Don't send them out first. Here's what you do.
Thin out the ranks.
Them. You make the
send the Dragons
people
out.
No, you trick them. You make the zombie people.
You can't trick a
let
zombie.
Them
It's
come
a
all
zombie.
the way up through. Make them think that they're about to encroach on the desired destination. Then you flank them. Dragons behind. You smush them all together, and we got this.
You're obsessed with this flanking thing.
I
don't
am.
understand what's going on.
I love the pincer technique.
Unbelievable. All right, you've been playing too much Civ 6 or whatever. I know what's happening with you. We got to get out of here. Have a great day. Greg up next. No Eli. Middays with Greg and Greg next.
Base is loaded here at the top of the ninth. And the pitch.